ritual there.
And here we go. So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to BSTV TCR Challenge Cup, Season 13's. This is rounds 11 and 12. We're at Nurburgring, not the Green Hell. We want to do more than 2 laps. We are at the Grand Prix circuit, the Prix Strecke, WEC. It's the one that the Formula One used to go to. I don't think it still does. I'm not sure, but it's certainly a very technical track. We've got a 19-degree track, so pretty low, high grip levels, no doubt. Eventually, I am Pete Bingham, and in the booth with me is Sir Alan of Toon. Good evening.
Hi, evening, Pete. Evening, everybody. Liking this prospects this evening. I do like this circuit. But as you say, very technical, and it's going to be a challenge for these guys. And they'll need that grip if there is some.
They will, and there's quite a few of them. It's going to be a busy track, actually. There are 20 drivers tonight. We're blessed with large fields all the way through the seasons these days in this particular league, aren't we, Alan? It's very healthy.
Well, you can see why, Pete, can't you? Look at the racing we get week in, week out.
It's stunning, isn't it? It really is. It's getting towards being on a par with the V8 league that we run, V8 ESC. That's back up and running now. Next race is on the 29th, so if you fancy your hand at V8s, then that is the league to do it in. It's the best European time slot V8 league there is. Very popular. We've got some of the fastest drivers in there, and we've got some brand new drivers in there who are learning their trade. It's certainly a baptism of something, usually fire, in V8s, and a lot of people benefit a lot from them. We've got some drivers that feature in this series that used to race, and some still do, in the V8 ESC League as well. So if you fancy it, get yourself signed up. It's on the website. Details are in the little written bit at the bottom of the YouTube channel. And you probably know where the website is anyway. But yes, this is TCR's, and we are going to be in for a very technical challenge. You've raced this one recently, haven't you? Did you say?
I've been here quite a lot, but yeah, I did it recently as part of the circuit with the Nurburgring Endurance Series, 4-hour enduros. And a big chunk of this is in that, and that really tricky first section with the hairy hairpins just here where we're going now.
Yeah.
Very, very. It's just a tricky old place, isn't it? You've got to judge things right. The corners are. Oh, they just demand your attention. The cambers can be really awkward.
Yeah, you've got to be careful, even carrying speed through some of these, because you're right, the camber's a bit deceiving, isn't it? It feels like it's with you, and then it's suddenly not.
Yeah, no, you've got to be alert here. It's the most deceiving place, because it doesn't look like there's that much to it. It looks fairly benign, it's just a nice standard set of corners and straights linked together, and in the most pleasing way, really, to my eyes. And I like to race it. It's always a challenge. It's one of those places where you're constantly trying to get a tenth off.
Yeah.
You get familiar with the corners, and you're racing every corner every time, because you can remember the last time you went around it and the line you took and just how you managed it, and are you going to do as well this time, or are you going to do better? Every corner's got character and requires attention.
Yeah, and evening to OG Ducky 420 on the Twitch chat. Looking forward to racing at Road America. I'm not sure who you are, so let us know. I probably should know, to be fair. But we will definitely see you there then. It's Rob Sharp. Right, okay. Oh, nice one, Rob. Good to see. There's lots of chat going on at the site at the moment. But yeah, good to have you back at Road America then. Ant Woodward says there's 95 to 97% chance that he will rage quit tonight, which, Alan, is lower than normal then.
It's been taking the tranquilizer tablets, clearly.
Obviously, if he's lowered it down from 99.9 recurring, you know what I mean? And Fiona says that Green Hell is better than this for her.
Yeah.
Plan for the night is 0x over 2 races. Really?
Wow.
I don't think 0x is possible on this track. I'm not sure. There's loads of places you can pick them up, but it's not like the old Spa was, of course. But if you can do 0, then it'll do you fantastic. It really will. And it will just now split to... Hang on, how long have we got? Just a minute. Racing. Oh, that's the wrong button to press, Pete. Try the other button, Pete. I'll have to have a chat with this guy who's controlling the buttons. We've got about 8 seconds, believe it or not, until we end up in qualifying. This is the end of the practice session. Remember the times on your screens, folks, because 2:05.055 is super rapid from Miguel Freitas, and that will be the time by which all other yardsticks are measured tonight. 2:05.055. Right, so...
Wow, that's some going by Big Mig there. Goodness me.
Big Mig's knocking him out of the park at the minute, isn't he? Right, let's... while these guys get on their out laps, I know you want to see all these guys and their wonderful liveries, as we see the two Geo White drivers, Hydro Race, Geodesic White, that is. Gary, just stop flashing your lights, I know you can hear me, so...
we don't want to see their livers, though, do we?
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't want to see bad play like that. Alex Sevillano, good evening on the chat. Hello. I've got quite a few people watching at the moment, actually. Excuse me. So, standings-wise, let's have a look. Big Mig is in the lead over Spencer, who I don't think is here. This is one of the first of the races that he... Oh, no, he is here. He is here, sorry. I know there's some races he can't do, that's all. But Big Mig is only 17 points in the clear.
Yeah.
And don't forget that after this race, for Alan and everybody else, after this race, we will go to total points with the drop score. So we'll go to the right-hand column. Now, in a bizarre twist of fate, the points in the left-hand column are in the same order as they would be if they were in the right-hand column as well. So... nothing really changes until you get down to position 9 and 10, which is Demis, Tigchalar and Carl, where they would currently reverse because Carl's got more points. And Lee Bowden would also be ahead of Demis, Tigchalar with drop scores. But we are currently still on left-hand column. So Miguel is your championship leader over Spencer McCarthy, but not by very much at all. Sam Blease isn't that far behind either when you think about it, 50 points. And he is our reigning champion from last season. And then Gary Craig, the stealth driver, the one that doesn't win too many races, finishes well in every race. Solid performances, and it gets you to the top, doesn't it, Alan?
Well, it works for Gary.
It works for Gary. Absolutely right, it works for Gary.
It absolutely worked for Gary last season. You've got to have that kind of temperament to be able to do what he does.
Yes.
He's got a mind that could actually do that, be patient, play the long game, play the odds, not be overwhelmed by his emotions too much, and think things through. And it works for him. He knows he's the first to tell you that it's maybe just an ounce short of pace against the top drivers, the other top drivers, just a few of them, and he makes stuff by craft and cunning.
Yeah, absolutely right. So we've got Wobbly Kneecaps in 5th, just behind him. And again, not by very much. We're not divided by many points, and we're halfway through the season almost on the scores. And then the first of the racing forces, Hydro Race Racing Forces guys, Freddie van Eekhoven having a stellar and steady championship so far. First season for Freddie, 421 points. And then Adam, who I was talking to last night. On chat in Discord. He's been a bit crashy, so he's not performed as well as he wants, and I think he should be a top 5 really, shouldn't he? He's got more than enough capability to get up there, but it's not that far to top 5 for him, to be honest. Then we got Jamie Wilson in 8th on 398 points, and then we get to the Demis, Carl, Lee Bowden situations down in 9th, 10th and 11th. Team standings wise, no guesses for who's leading that, and by a reasonable amount as well, to be honest. Impulse Racing have surged to the front, and BSTV are very much trying to catch up, along with Hydro Race, Geodesic Racing, and the sister team of White, and then Hydro Race Racing Forces in 5th. They're all on the website for you to look at. That's all I'm displaying at the moment. So then driver of the meeting. So driver of the meeting at the moment, we've got 3 tied for top spot: Lee Bowden, Miguel and Jamie Wilson, and then a bag full of people for joint second place: Stefan, Freddie, Gary and Stephen Walker. And one of the biggest prizes is Sir Alan's Safe Driver Award. Jamie Jeffrey leads that. A very, very professional performance on 1,871 laps. Turns off laps, sorry. Only 18 incidents, Alan. That's pretty clean.
You wouldn't believe it, because Jamie races hard. It's not the guy holds back or anything, you know. He's always in the thick of it, isn't he? And,
he is.
To pull that off, that tells you he's got a high regard for the white line. I wish I could do that.
Me too, and that high regard for other drivers, which I don't display at all in the Clios, because I wiped poor Darren out time before last. Gary Craig proving that if you keep it clean and finish high up, you do very well in both of our league tables. And Fiona in 3rd place, doing a great job. 0.015 total incidents per turn. 2,218 turns in total. That's a really good performance. That shows that that steady, clean racing does you well in other areas, as well as getting podiums. It's not all about podiums, it's about enjoying yourself and setting yourself challenges. Clean races is clearly a challenge, because she's already mentioned it. Getting a 0x over 2 races tonight. So well done, Fiona. That's setting yourself really good targets. So back to tonight's qualifying. We're halfway through. We're going to go on board. Actually, we'll go on board with Stephen while we're on him. Let me find the right button to press. Is that it? No, it's not. That is it. We're coming right to the end of the lap. It's this long right-hander that leads you on to... You've got to be smooth as well through that corner. It's an overtaking opportunity, and then over the stripe you go. As Miguel sets a very fast time for so early in this session. You pile it down here, down the little hill, and get your braking point right. It's easy to lock up because you're going downhill. Very tight right-hander first gear. The only time you'll see first gear on this lap. And then you've got this double left-hand section. I think this is called Mercedes. This infield section here. 2 right-handers followed by a very sharp... 2 left-handers followed by a very sharp right-hander. There we go. You can't take all of that curb on the right or the left because you get a slowdown or an incident point. Then we head down here towards turn 5. A very slow but very, very controlled left-hander with the camber with you. Then the camber's away from you in forward curve, which is that right-hander that we've just been through. Then you sail it down this lovely section. I love this bit. But you've got to get your braking point absolutely nailed here, just before you get onto that bit of tarmac on the left-hand side at Dunlop, and then you fire it back up the hill again. There's quite a lot of climb on this track as well. I love the undulation. And then into what they call Michael Schumacher curves, or S's, or something like that. I can't really recall, but up the hill we go, still climbing up the hill. This is where we join the beginning of the Green Hell section again. And then into this is Bilstein, I think this is another kind of chicane section, but a long drawn out one. Then we head down the hill and then back up the hill again. This is a lovely section. You feel like a master of the grip going through here in this car, up towards the chicane that I can't remember the name of. It's a fast chicane on this version of the track. Run it out to all the points you can do. And then you're on the final turn, turn 16, before you start again on the next bit of the lap. So lots of technicality, lots of chicanes, lots of camber that feels like it's with you and it's not, and then others that feels like it's with you and it is, and then lots of undulation. It's a challenging track.
It comes through, really, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. It's busier on a lap as a driver than you expect it to be. Your only real relaxation is over the start-finish straight, and down that section that goes through that right-hand kink towards the very sharp, but still very fast, chicane. Otherwise, your eyeballs are on stalks, Alan.
Yeah, well, you've got to think about your entry into the corners and your exits.
Yeah.
So you don't get much time off, you just finish thinking about the exit from one corner and into the next. And they all require your attention if you want to be quick. Your line is essential around here. It's absolutely critical that you have your line sorted and that you can not drop any pace.
No,
The
not at all.
track's wide, it's a lovely spacious circuit. It feels wonderful driving around.
And the
The
tracks,
cars love it.
yeah, the track's so wide as well. The cars look small, if that makes sense. I know there's a Father Ted statement in there somewhere about these cows are small, these cows are far away. But the car looks small because the track's so wide. It gives lots of opportunity to work your way alongside a car and go door to door with them for a number of turns. I think this one's going to be a blast. I really do.
Yes, if they can. Right, if these guys can't control the corners, nobody can. So I'm with
Well,
you.
yeah.
I'm expecting it to be yet another fearsome demonstration. We've had that team situation is not looking great for Geo. I'm wondering if they haven't
No.
spread their quarters a wee bit thin, this season.
But I think they do that on purpose, and it makes for great racing because obviously Spencer and Sam, and now Stephen, of course, very, very fast racers. And I think if Stephen had been in the team right from the start, it would have been a more competitive package for the team event. And they may still rise to the top. I mean, there's 2 championship winners, multiple championship winners in there from this series. And Mr. Seal is, excuse me, on the chat. Still looks competitive as ever. Been away for a while. You have, yeah. Feel free to join us whenever you want. From the end of this race onwards, it's half the cost of the series if you want to join. That's for anybody, because you've only got half the season to race. So feel free to join us, get involved, have a bit of fun. The more's the merrier. You're not going to upset anything. It's going to be just a blast right to the end now. Ant Woodward not turned a lap
What's
yet.
he doing?
I don't know. He wants to start from the back, maybe. I don't really understand that, to be honest. Do you?
No, I don't. Evening, Michael.
Yeah, evening, Michael. Yeah.
That's it. It's nice to see you. Anyway, yeah, and where are you, matey?
Yeah. This is a great league. Wayne Sanderson's on the chat now as well. Maybe this is the league for you. You do all right in the Clios. Fancy getting it on in the TCR as well. That might be a bit of a stretch because I think he's signing up for V8s as well. I'm not sure. If he isn't, he should because he was great in it.
Yes, and it's a rare skill, isn't it?
Oh yeah. To be adequate at V8s is one thing. To be great in V8s is another. And I think Wayne has been on the very fringe of great on a number of occasions. Move it to the weekend and you're on. Okay. That means it's V8s all the way and Clios for you then. And Miguel has just deposed Sam on the timing screens from the provisional pole spot. So he's done a 205.585, and for the astute of you that I mentioned earlier, it was a 205.055. So he's getting close to that super rapid pace that he exhibited in practice. Not quite there yet, but he's certainly fending off the opposition. Let's
Look
see.
at that stack of fives. It's going around here in 205. God, goodness.
The field's not quite as bunched in times as it has been for the last couple, though, Alan. So 1 second covers the top 7.
Yeah.
And then
Normally there's a dozen in there, isn't there?
Last time it was something like 16 drivers. It was honestly ridiculous. It might get back to that slightly as people start improving their times. 2 seconds covers the top 15, sorry. 15 as of right now, actually. It happened while I was staring at it. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. Still can't understand why Ant's not done any laps. He must be so confident he's going to win that he doesn't need to. He's going to do a last to first challenge with no incidents at all.
Well, who can blame me? You know, he's awesomely talented. He drips talent. Everywhere he goes, people follow him around with little buckets.
Little
try and
buckets,
catch it.
yeah. I've heard that he just sweats it out. But yeah, we've got so Miguel's on provisional pole for the next 28 seconds. Sam Blees is currently holding provisional second, and Spencer provisional third. So no front row lockout from Impulse Racing this week.
Not yet.
Where is Wobbly? Wobbly is not even on track, so I don't think it's going to happen, obviously, because it's a heat race and you'll get chinned out in 8 seconds anyway. Stephen Walker just outside. Oh, he's inside the top 5 now, practicing his pit stops, which is a wise thing to do. And there we go.
That's a lot of 205s, but you know, hot laps don't tell the tale, really, do they?
No, they don't, and probably they shouldn't, because Miguel Freitas is your pole man for tonight for Impulse Racing. Next to him on the front row is Sam Blees for Hydra Race Geodesic Racing White. Third, it will be Spencer McCarthy for Hydra Race Geodesic Racing. Wobbly will go off 4th for Impulse Racing. Stephen Walker will go off 5th for Hydra Race Geodesic Racing White. Freddie Van Eekhoven, didn't even think to correct the name, will go off 6th tonight for Hydra Race Racing Forces. Gary Craig will go off 7th for BSTV. Lee Bowden off 8th for Safeguard by Result, with Stefan Goebel off 9th for VTS Esports. Next to him will be Demis Tigchalar in 10th for Hydra Race Racing Forces. 11th will be Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result. Jamie Jeffrey will go off 12th for CCR. 13th will be Tony Walker, who's racing for himself according to that, but I'm pretty sure he's not. Matt Flannery will go off 14th for Hydra Race Geodesic Racing. Jamie Wilson will go off 15th for Team Chimera. He's a lot lower than I expected him to be. JB Deju will go off 16th for BSTV Esports Blue. Alejandro Advani will go off 17th. Charles Walsh will go off 18th. Fiona will go off 19th for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield. And 20th and last will be Ant Woodward for Never Quit Racing. Did I read Adam's name out? I didn't, did I? Because he's not racing at the minute, as it stands. Not tonight, anyway. Well, that's a rubbish camera, isn't it? We'll switch to that later. Let's go up towards the front. There we go. There's Miguel.
Is Ant taken to the grid?
He has. Right, everybody's on the grid now with the addition of Sam there. So we're going to position our camera there. Lights are coming on, Alan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold and go. They didn't hold them for long.
No.
Right,
so
so
good drift start, wasn't it?
it was. Miguel has got the whole shot done as everybody charges towards the hairpin here. There's a bit of shuffling further back. Yeah,
absolutely critical first corner. It's so tight, cold tyres, everybody's together.
They basically stopped at one point on that hairpin, 16 wide, I think they were. There's a bit of shuffling about going on back here where we are with the camera. You can see Jamie Jeffrey out wide there and getting shuffled a little bit backwards, actually. He's got his position back now, so he and it's Team Jamie again. The two Jamies are together again. They're inseparable.
Bethlen's well up here. He's done well.
He has. No change at the very front apart from Gary Craig.
Oh.
He's two positions
no, who's
up.
that? Somebody's just gone past Cole.
That is a Racing Forces Freddie Van Eekhoven.
Cole's on the gravel there.
Yeah.
They're very close. The first part of this lap just keeps everybody bunched, doesn't it?
Lee Bowden into Freddie Van Eekhoven, was it? Yeah, he's dropping down the order very, very quickly. There was lifted out of that corner, a bit of a pit manoeuvre maybe. But you can see Lee Bowden had got his braking point wrong. We'll watch it again in a minute. He's now under pressure from Demis, actually.
Demis, yeah.
Yeah, the teammate of Freddie Van Eekhoven. Alex Civilano Lado is going to be incandescent on the chat in a minute. There will be virtual fists waved towards Lee Bowden, no doubt, but we'll see that later on. But yeah, Gary Craig, he's been overtaken again by Stephen Walker, as in Stephen's taking his position back. So we'll have to see how that pans out. We've got to keep watching these guys because it's the closest racing on the track. As Jamie Jeffrey gets very, very racy with Demis. He's done a great job getting alongside him. That's lovely.
Just
Ooh,
point
slow
something
down.
out.
Slow down for Walker.
Oh no! Very unusual for Stephen to get caught.
To even get an incident point, yeah. Locking up in front. So
you lose a lot of places when you got to slow down when the field's so tightly packed. And look at them; there's nothing. They're so close in time, of course, that it takes a while for them to spread out. They will eventually, but this first few laps.
Oh wow!
Intense.
Did you see that, Tony Walker? You legend. Oh, he nearly got lifted out of the corner by Carl.
20-minute race because they don't hold back, do they?
No, I mean, where the hell did that come from with Tony Walker? That was bold, it was brash, it was great. Wobbly off track, oh my word.
Oh.
That is getting 200 replays. I might wear out the videotape. For those of us that had 9.5 weeks on video. Oh, he got a tyre off.
Oh,
there was always a bit on that video.
He did well, really, didn't he?
He did.
He kept it pointing forward.
He did exactly what he should do. Slammed on the brakes. Unfortunately, his slide was into gravel, so it lasted forever. And he's now
Look
down.
how careful he was with his line.
Yeah.
He was so careful with his line, but somebody still reacted and I think got a wheel off.
Yeah.
And
he'll be glad to know that he was actually catching Spencer before that. So, oh, Jamie Jeffrey with a slowdown. Everybody's getting him, Alan. What's going on?
Well, yes. Well, Jamie we were just saying he doesn't get off tracks and things. Well he's doing with the safety and stuff. And then he goes, But it's very intense here, and he's side by side with Carl, who's one of the toughest scrappers you'll want to be with, and yeah. There's not much quarter given, is there?
No, there's not. And I'm surprised that Tony Walker's back here after his move of legend from a bit earlier, because it was absolutely brilliant. So what's he done here? He's gone into the hairpin kind of turn. Oh.
Oh.
That was that Charles? Yeah, it was. It was Charles straightened up his steering. I'm not sure what was going on there.
I think Charles just understeered around the corner, didn't he? It was right on the inside, so anybody on the outside, he was going to get taken out.
Yeah, and we've got this absolute rabble going on here, and most of them have been off track in the last few minutes in this group. Ant Woodward has entered pit lane, so I think is that the first of his rage quits? Did that even achieve 95%? I don't think it did. Oh no, he's back out. Oh no, he isn't. He's gone into the pits. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Perhaps he's had to repair.
Maybe, yeah. At the very front, which we've not shown any of, and I am aware of that, folks, I'm not just being silly, there is no change in the positions other than Wobbly moving himself backwards.
I was just starting to put a bit of a gap into Jamie here.
He is, yeah. You could see Big Mig and... Oh, no, it wasn't Big Mig, it was Wobbly. Big Mig is still out front. Wobbly is the one putting pressure on Demis. Hopefully... Oh, Demis! Oh! I was going to say, hopefully Demis can make Wobbly's life a nightmare for a very long time, and I cursed him before I'd said anything. Yeah.
So easy to do that.
It is, yeah. That particular corner, the camera's not with you.
No, it's just one of those that foxes you. It's so easy to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee Bowden, who turned Freddie earlier on in the race, he's up to 6th place. Somebody was into the barrier then.
Lee qualified very well, I thought.
Ant Woodward said he's just done the calmest rage quit ever. Which I find hilarious. That's brilliant. Right, so What's going on here? This is
Oh,
Charles staying
no, look
offline.
at this.
Tony Walker and Matt Flannery bursting past him. I mean, Tony
It
Walker's...
just hasn't settled down, has it? It's still
No.
popping. You know, it feels like they still just come around the first corner. It's still popping. There's nothing settled down. Nobody's found a place that established the position. Phew.
There's stuff happening everywhere, and I can't keep up with it. So, Stephen Walker has just passed Gary Craig. No, he hasn't. He's passed Lee Bowden. But Stephen Walker was in front of Gary Craig until recently, so I've clearly missed something. And I can't find it. I'm scrolling through all the events, and there's nothing showing, so I don't know what the hell that's all about. Is there anything about him getting overtaken? No, there isn't. Not in recent history, and I'm not willing to search anymore for something I might not find. So, right. So this is where all the action's at. Around around the two Jamies again. Isn't that weird? It seems to be every race. I think they do it on purpose to get more footage.
Well, they're very, very close, I think, on talent.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think they're very closely matched in every single way, and because of that, they find themselves in close contest a lot. And yeah, to our benefit, of course.
Oh, too right, yeah. Sam Blees is the fastest man in a car on the track at the moment, and he's catching Miguel Freitas hand over fist at the minute.
Yes, well, you know what this race is like, Pete. They set off, and it's 20 minutes, and you really can't afford to waste any time. Somebody like Miguel, you really can't let him get away.
No,
he's
they need to try and manoeuvre in front of him. Is the best way I can describe it. What's this? Right, just got it this week. That's from Wild Rides. I don't know what that's in reference to. Sorry. But Sam Blees has let Big Mig get away there, and he's now got Spencer breathing down his neck.
Yes, well, that's another element because Spencer's now here, and this is going to change the dynamic slightly.
Yeah, that's what nothing looks like in between the two Jamies at the moment. That's what 0 seconds looks like, or it did for a second anyway. Stephen Walker has just... Oh no, he hasn't. That was ages ago. P5 seems to be the most fought-after position of all at the moment, which means Gary Craig's probably happy that he's not in it. He's in P4. But Gary's got...
Well, I imagine that Jamie Jeff is quite happy to be in P12.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, he's been off track. He's had a slowdown. There's all sorts happened.
And he could get pole.
Yeah, he could do. Although I do think that Freddie van Eekhoven is trying to fit himself into a P12 suit right now.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure these guys will be well aware of it. Jamie will, that's for sure. Because, he's been on the wrong side and the right side of these reverse grids, hasn't he?
He really has, yeah.
So he'll be well clued into that. He will.
Oh, right. Sorry, Wild Rides. I'll reread it because reading the actual words is key to understanding, right? Just not got it this week, so that's in terms of Ant Woodward. And not every track works for everybody, so it's fair enough. The very fact that you're on track and making even a small race of it is brilliant, really, in my opinion. Right, so this is serious pressure now for Gary Craig. Stephen Walker bearing down on him very, very quickly. He's very good on the brakes as well, and that Veloster is great on the brakes.
I don't think Gary's got a reasonable chance of keeping Stephen behind him, and he will be well aware of that.
He'll probably be doing what he's doing now on purpose, because that is a tow of huge proportions that he can benefit from.
If anybody's going to be thinking, here comes Stephen, let him by, get his toe, get caught up with the guys in front, it's going to be Gary. Yeah,
and it's a legendary amount of time between them and the car in front, because the car in front is 7.5 seconds in front.
Wow.
I tell you what,
that's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm about to curse Stefan, because every time I say he's doing really well, he bins it. He's just been overtaken by Wobbly, but that does mean he's still in 8th place. I think
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
he's doing great. He's doing great. We do like to see that. I do like to see Stefan do well because he's such a trooper and such a supporter of the league.
He is, and he is the highest standing Audi driver. The next highest standing Audi driver is Demis, who is right behind him actually on the standing screens, but not on the track. That's 3.5 seconds nearly between them. And then you got Carl Hardy, Team Jamie, which is 2 Jamies, and then Freddie Van Eekhoven right behind them, and wanting to. He's much delayed, of course. He's 7 places back from where he started after getting lifted out of a corner by Lee Bowden.
Well, there you go. Stefan's doing 206s, and
Yeah.
Demis and Carl are in the 7s. So
Exactly.
everybody behind him is in the 7s.
Yeah. Very observant of you. Far more observant than me.
You're doing everything, Pete. All I've got to do is sit here and enjoy the race.
Right.
You're doing everything.
Well, I don't know. I'm not doing it right necessarily, but there you go. Wayne Sanderson on the chat says, are they the same underneath? It's not like V8s, this. Each of these cars is completely different. The gearing ratios are different. The Audi, where everybody else is in 1st gear, the Audi is in like 5th. It's just ridiculous, the difference in the gearing. Oh! I thought that was going to be I thought Taggart was coming out then. There's been a murder.
Some good driving there by Jamie to hold on to that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did get a nudge, and Freddie...
He did, quite a good one, and he managed to keep hold of his car. Now,
yeah, we're going to go a bit further.
That was good on all parts, because that could have gone horribly wrong. There was plenty of power in that push, wasn't there?
Too right. Tony Walker. Ooh. Oh, dear. Ooh, here we go. Tony Walker just about getting past Matt Flannery there. So, yeah, all kicking off here again. Team Jamie still together. They're not in the same team, obviously. One's driving a unicorn car and one's driving a chimera car. Both animals of complete fiction, but nevertheless, both called Jamie. So, yeah, the Audi's gearing ratio is completely different to all the other cars. The Veloster is very, very agile. The Honda... Ooh, we've lost to Jamie, haven't we? There's Jamie not on the track. Anybody seen Jamie? There he is. Right, that's fine.
He was hiding.
Yeah, unicorns are magical creatures and they can vanish at any point. Anyway, yeah, so the Veloster is much more nimble than the Elantra. The Elantra is probably the most average of all the cars. And the Honda it struggled massively, didn't it, at Knock Hill? It's not very good on the acceleration tracks, the ones with the tight corners, doesn't do as well there. So it's not like the V8s where both cars are identical in every way apart from the way they look.
Well, you know, the Honda should do well here by that description, really.
It should, shouldn't it? Yeah.
Should suit this track, shouldn't it? You know, it is the wide open spaces, so it compared with Knock Hill. But anyway,
right.
Lee's doing an exceptional driver, I think. You know, he's 6th place.
Yeah, he's doing well. You can see in the timing tower that Pete doesn't know where to point the camera next because everybody's racing everybody right now.
He's got some serious. He's got Wobbly trying to climb over the top of him. That's a lot on your mind.
Yeah, it might be a lot. Oh, Jamie Jeffrey is getting real pressure from Freddie. Freddie in that Hydra race, Racing Forces Audi, is fighting back here. He's fast. We know he's fast. He's 7 places down from where he should be. Or rather, where his qualifying was. Where he should be in the race is completely different to qualifying, obviously. Further forward, Racing Forces cars in action still. That's Demis Tichelaar, who has overtaken Carl Hardy. Yeah, that's true to say. Ooh. Oh, door to door here. JB and Tony Walker. 2 Elantras together. Oh, people keep overtaking other people. And I'm not...
No.
Yeah, they do. You wouldn't think... You think they'd be like more polite to the cameraman, wouldn't you? And just stay in order. Right, so Lee has still got Wobbly behind him. That's very healthy for Lee. Good to see. Means he's on the pace. So yes, cars are completely different to one another and do have favoured tracks. It makes for brilliant racing. It honestly does. Meanwhile, in a almost in a different race, because these guys are so far ahead, these three. Sambly's still keeping the pressure piled onto Miguel. Let's see what's happened. Oh, what happened to Wobbly? He's dropped off the back of Lee quite a bit, and now Stefan's catching him again. So I don't know, that's just one bad turn, as these three...
Could have been slowed down. Could have been...
Could have been, but I don't think so. I think that's just offline. Oh no, JB has got a slowdown. You're utterly right. Why did I ever doubt you? Oh no, he hasn't. He's just taken a defensive line.
Well, that's well defensive in there. That's going to cost him if he's not careful.
I know, he's nearly driving down the pit road. Oh, and they all shuffle again.
Well, he's going to get caught out on the inside here, isn't he?
Yeah, did you see the group in front?
Tight.
Group in front's in the same position.
Oh.
I mean, this is beautiful racing.
Oh, it's so... That's such an edgy corner.
Yeah.
You're right on the edge of the car, on the balance of the thing. It's trying to break away. You didn't overboot it. Oh, it's a very edgy place to be, and yeah, this isn't helping when you've got these guys breathing down your neck.
No, it's not. And these three are no better, if you know what I mean. So Freddie's now in the Jamie sandwich. It's a ménage à trois of Jamies. And then Wobbly and Stefan and Lee. Wobbly's got his wriggled together again now, so he's caught up with Lee again. I don't know whether he's got the ability to overtake him in the last 1.5 minutes. I think we're on approaching the white flag. Let's see if he can get across the line, or has he already been across the line? I don't really know. Let's go roll bar on him and see. Oh, he's going to go white flag this time, Alan. We should see Barney waving. He's on the right somewhere, I think. Have we already passed it? I don't know. There he is.
There, isn't he?
Oh, I didn't see anything, to be honest.
No, I didn't see him.
No. Oh, that's super wide in the background, and it looks like Wobbly is going to take that position, possibly.
Well, there's a wide way around that wicked little corner there onto the main straight, but you've got to get it right, and you can catch that post on the right all too easily, can't you?
Yeah,
because
you can.
The line just takes you so close to it, the natural line.
So we're still racing, so this is white flag lap, even though we couldn't see Barney. What's Freddie done? Oh, he's just getting himself shuffled backwards. That's a terrible camera. We'll go back to TV2, because it's the only reasonable one we've got.
Oh. These guys are hard at it. They're going to be sweaty after this, let me tell you.
Certainly are. Wobbly's got that done, obviously, and now Stefan's having a sniff. Oh, and Jamie is fought off.
That's going to be a tougher fight. I would think Lee's going to give Stefan a hard fight, and I'm not sure he'll get by him in the time he's got.
I don't know. Stefan's pretty bold when he needs to be. Right at the very front, there's no change. Sorry.
I'm not sure he's got the car that's got the sprinty through the last... You never know, but they'll certainly be trying, that's for sure.
Yeah, Audi's good mid-corner, though, because it's in a higher gear, so it's got a lot of traction. Sam Blees, has he got it in him to have a real good pop at Miguel in the... he's not far from the end of the lap here. All he's got is this little turn, a chicane, and then a long right-hander. He's not near enough, in my opinion.
No, to me it looked earlier on, a bit earlier in the lap, that Sam was probably settling for the points.
It may well be that, yeah. Certainly they both dropped Spencer in the last few laps. And this is going to be...
You know, it's very difficult to get a run on somebody like Miguel.
Yeah, well done, Miguel. Well done, Sam. And well done, Spencer.
Yeah, great racing. Oh, and so Sam purpled the last lap.
Yeah, he did. Nice work. Very nice work. Right.
Well, that will please the man immensely, won't it?
It will. So lots of other people have already crossed the line, but this is where the rabble is at. Nicely done from Carl and Demis.
Carl's happy. Everybody's happy. Liking this.
Where is...
Lee's happy.
Right. So Tony Walker absolutely gapped Matt and JB, and it looks like JB's got a slowdown right at the very last.
Oh, hasn't got some pace, has it?
Yeah, that was Charles crossing the line, and then Alejandro crossing the line, and then still to finish is Fiona.
Street coming in.
Yep, not
Car
far
looks
from the
good.
end. Do you know what? Not that far
Straight
off the back
car.
of the pack, to be honest.
No, and
Well done.
I do know she wasn't very enamoured of the circuit earlier on, so that's a really good drive by her.
Okay. It's not for everybody, like I said earlier. I mean, it's very specific, isn't it? Wow. Right. Okay. So let's have a look at the results of what is round 11, also known as Heat 1. Miguel was your race winner, flag to flag. That was for Miguel for Impulse Racing. Second was Sam Blees for Hydra Race Geodesic Racing White. Third was Spencer McCarthy in Hydra Race Geodesic Racing. Also for Geodesic Racing White was Stephen Walker in fourth. Gary Craig in fifth for BSTV, with Wobbly Kneecaps in sixth for Impulse Racing. Lee Bowden was seventh for Safeguard by Result. Stefan finished eighth for VTS Esports. Ninth was Demis Tigchalar for Hydra Race Racing Forces, with Carl Hardy finishing 10th for Safeguard by Result. 11th was Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. Freddie van Eekhoven was 12th for Hydra Race Racing Forces. Jamie Jeffrey was 13th for CCR. Tony Walker finished 14th. Matt Flannery finished 15th for Hydra Race Geodesic Racing. JB Dejoux finished 16th for BSTV Esports Blue. Charles Walsh was 17th. Alejandro Advani was 18th. Fiona Siddons was 19th for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield. The last to actually finish because Ant Woodward, the Rager, the quitter, finished 20th and last for Never Quit Racing, and 8 laps down. Well, if the second race is like that, I'm going to need a nap in the middle of it, Alan, because as a cameraman, that was hard to keep up with. It really
matey,
was.
they had you on your toes, didn't they?
Yeah, toes, toenails, I think, as gross as that could be. Right, so Fiona, a zero race, one can do 40 minutes. Fiona got a 0x race.
Yay! Well, that was the intention, and
it was.
Not only did she do that, she came in really with a really good time as well, and it was still in sight. Never mind on the lead lap, she was still pretty much in sight going up that last Delay bet, and great performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can she do it on the 40-minute though? That's the thing.
Well, yeah.
It's a different story.
Now, pit stops are a feature of the second race. So for those new to watching, there's quite a lot watching at the minute actually. So to those new, it's a half an hour race followed by it's not. It's a 20-minute race followed by a 40-minute race. I'm in the wrong league. With a pit stop, mandatory, 35% fuel, so they can't get around that we know of. We've not found a track yet that they can do it in no stops. So, pit lane entry here is not as simple as you might think. So you can take a dive. You got to be careful, though. You got to get over the white line before the second of the horizontal white lines that crosses you, I think, is the rule. And then your yellow cones are just there where Sam Blees has just passed through. You will get quite a few people doing practice pit stops here because pit stops are a massive feature of this feature race, aren't they, Alan?
They are, matey. They are. We've got some great tacticians in the field, and they take full advantage of their nous regarding pit stops. They can judge it to a nicety, whether they're going to get it. And we see races change hands in the pits here, because so many of these races are so close that a few tenths makes all the difference. And we've seen it time and again, somebody putting in a fantastic lap while somebody's in the pits and just holding on to a lead by a fraction or just getting in front, and by feet. And we've seen it time and again, and crucial part of the race.
Yeah.
And this might be not too bad to get in, though. You still have to be awake. The exit's not so. You've got to be. You've got cars flying down the hill. You've got
Yes.
to be careful exiting. You haven't got an awful lot of room to get over to the track so you can make an exit around that vicious right-hander at the bottom of the hill.
Not if the track is crowded.
Well,
There's not a lot of room to play with, is there?
no, it's and you don't really want to be pulling out right into the middle of the traffic because you're right onto the racing line. As people go and try and go around that blooming. It's a wicked little right-hander, isn't it? You know what a hairpin that is.
Yes. And hopefully Ant Woodward can stay with us for the whole of this one. He's going to start
Ice
last,
cubes.
nothing to lose. So, what did you say?
Ice cubes.
Ice cubes.
Ice cubes down his underwear. That'll stop him rage quitting. That'll keep him under
Absolutely.
control.
So this little 5-minute warm-up session is ended. It just boots you out because it's heat racing. Just a reminder.
But he was blinking then for a minute.
I know, yeah. So
It's lovely blue sky there this evening, isn't it, in Germany?
in Germany, it's fantastic. Not so good here. But anyway, Freddie Van Eekhoven finished 12th in the first race, so poles the second race tonight, round 12. Such is the rules of a reverse 12 grid. For Hydro Race Racing Forces, Jamie Wilson goes off second. I'm going to run through the names because I don't have the time in this one. Carl Hardy goes off third. Demis Titular fourth. Stefan fifth. Lee Bowden sixth. Wobbly off seventh. Gary off eighth. Stephen Walker off ninth. Spencer off 10th. Sam Blees off 11th. Miguel Big Mig off 12th. I forgot to press the button. 13th will be Jamie Jeffrey. Tony Walker will go off 14th. Matt Flannery off 15th. 16th will be JB. 17th will be Charles Walsh. Alejandro Advani goes off 18th, Fiona Siddons off 19th, and Ant Woodward off 20th. Oh, we're already revving. I'm at the wrong end of the grid.
Green, green, green.
Can Team Chimera get away? Yes, they can. That was they did at the first phase, and then lost it off in the second phase. So that Audi is just good at launching. One of those two things is true. Oh my God, look at the state of that.
Stefan got a great launch and got it in front of Carl.
Oh, and that is that Wobbly? Is that Mick?
Is that,
I don't even know who it is.
Both of them are around
Oh,
there.
there's a bit of chaos going on.
Oh.
The track was not blocked. Is
Oh,
not
my
blocked.
word.
So yeah, there's a lot going on there. A lot going on.
That's fine. All over.
We'll autopsy that in a minute, but we can't look away because the Audis are all at the front of the field at the moment.
Got a great start. Probably start of the season.
Yeah, definitely. So that's Freddie Van Eekhoven that's legged it, along with Jamie Wilson. I don't know where Jamie Jeffrey is. He's usually bolted to the same bit of car as him, but not today, not in this race anyway. So obviously got caught up in the shenanigans as these two Geo White cars have got an opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion.
Looking threatening already, aren't they?
They are, because all the other... Oh, what's Ant doing? Ant's a bit wide. Oh! Did you see how much solid air was between those two cars?
Me.
Holy hell. There was miles of it.
That's the second time I've seen that. In 2 days I saw one just like that last night as well. It was
Well,
a shocker. And
solid-
that was a shocker, wasn't it?
solid
yeah,
air.
Solid air. Absolutely.
Yeah. This was huge, though. So they're nowhere near each other, nowhere near, still nowhere near, really, and then round he goes.
I've seen this quite a few times recently. It's something that I've noticed happening quite a few times.
Now, I'm going to go to this camera quickly. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Oh, that's him coming back on track. Just a minute. It took him a while.
Oh, nice grass. Look at that grass. Ooh.
Yeah, apologies for this. There we go. Right, so if I do this, and then I do this, we should see that there's still air when he turns. Yes, look at that.
Yeah. That was a good foot there, isn't there?
I could have strolled through the gap between those two cars.
Yeah, I saw somebody get spun in exactly the same way last night.
Right.
In Mazdas, and there was a foot between them as well.
Okay.
And it just looks terrible because the guy behind is innocent, but it looks like he's actually made a contact.
Oh, and here we go.
Oh well,
Woo!
look at these two.
That's
Living in the world,
Alejandro.
aren't they?
Yeah. And thank you to Siren for subscribing to our channel. Always good. Hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. We've got a few more people watching us now. Wobbly is in the pits and not moving. Or is he towing? He might be towing. He seemed to get the brunt of the start, so we'll have a look at that again in a second. Right, everybody seems to have sorted them out. They're in pretty close company, and Spencer is bearing down now on Gary and on Lee Bowden, as Lee Bowden sends it on Gary. Gary is playing the safe game, I think.
You don't want to just give up.
He's not giving up, but he is at the same time, if you know what I mean. So we're only on lap 2, and it already feels like we've had half a race's worth of stuff going on as JB overtakes Gary.
Yeah, Gary's losing place there. This is
oh, hang on. Gary's got loads of damage. Has he? No, he hasn't. Hang on, I don't know what's going on here. I don't think there's any way that I can look at the front of his car, annoyingly. As Lee Bowden...
I said, well, there's got to be something going on, Pete.
He's going backwards fast.
Yeah.
He really is.
Something.
So, I don't know whether he's trying to just sweat this out until he's at a point...
Probably trying to get to the pits by the looks of him.
Yes. Well, no, get to the pit window, I think he's trying to. He's getting out of everybody's way. He's obviously got some serious damage, but if he pits now, he's got to pit again. So, I think he's just sweating it out until he can pit reasonably. And still finish. So he's probably got about 3 more laps of that pain. Oh my God, Freddie. That was Freddie Van Eekhoven bearing down on Carl Hardy at a rate of knots. And Miguel Freitas. Round the outside? No, not this time.
No.
But maybe this time.
Yeah, I think he's just got the edge there.
Yep. For now.
Yes. Well, Freddie's pretty good, isn't he? You know, we've seen him enough of Freddie now to know that he's good in the cars. He doesn't mind being in the traffic.
No, not at all.
He can handle himself.
There goes Miguel. Now that was a gorgeous bit of braking. Oh,
that was
too
just
good,
skill, wasn't it?
Yeah. How can you compete against that?
Well, in my case, I can't.
And there he goes.
Patience as well.
Yes.
And, you know, very fair.
Freddie's
lots
fighting
of room
this.
given, lots of respect. Yes, but, you know...
He's had to give best, though, yeah.
It was what you were saying earlier on. The side-by-side, long drawn-out overtake is a feature of this circuit because we've got the space for it and the time gaps are so small, it just takes a while to overhaul some of these chaps.
Yeah,
we're just fortunate they're so good at holding their line and keeping it clean when they're side by side for long periods. As good as anybody I've ever seen.
So we've got double battles going on here. We've got this going on here, and we've got this going on here. So we'll look at the front one at the minute. That's sorted itself out now as Miguel Freitas has got through a couple of cars in as many turns. And then back here, this is Sam Blees, Demis and Jamie Jeffrey. Jamie Wilson is your race leader for now. He's about to get an attempt on him by Stephen Walker.
He's just done the fastest lap, of course.
He has just done the fastest lap, and he just blocked the apex so that there was no comeback from Jamie Wilson. A very nice tactical move.
Effortless way he did that.
Yeah.
Perfectly fair, but perfectly...
Oh, yeah, robust, though.
You know what I mean? Yeah, robust. But that's so very typical of Stephen.
It is. We've got Tony Walker.
Sophisticated and charming, but, you know, robust. I think that's a very good description.
Yeah.
Now, look at this, because what's Tony doing back here? Didn't he have different paint earlier?
No, he was always in the council colours.
Was he?
Right, so Gary Craig has found himself a pit window where he can finish, clearly. Because he's been to pit road now, he's fixed his car. Let's hope he can get back onto a competitive finishing position for him. Right, we're going to
he's still on the lead lap, isn't he? So, you know.
Still on the lead lap. Right, we're going to go back finally. Now everybody's kind of calmed it down. We're going to have a look at the start, and we're going to find wherever Wobbly is, because that seemed to be where the action was. Wobbly wasn't away well, but he was better than Lee Bowden and not quite. Ooh, right. So Gary nearly got sandwiched in there. Is it in
Was
front
that
of
Gary
these
being
guys?
robust?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. Oh, it was. It was Gary into Wobbly, and then and then Wobbly into everybody, and then Wobbly turns off the track.
Was that some solid air there again? Did you
No,
see?
no. I think that was
The
contact.
because
But we'll have another look.
he seemed to be caught in the by-blow. It's a shame, isn't it, when there's repercussions like that? It's simple.
Yeah, it is a shame, but I do owe Gary a tenner. So yeah, it nearly came to a head here. Not quite though. There's a little bit of rub in there, and then down into the hairpin here. Gary gets on the inside. And then kind of runs out of space.
Well, you know, how are you going to get around there from that line, you know?
And then I think Wobbly's car is. Oh, Wobbly
What one there, you see?
Yeah, you're right. It was solid air, but nothing to do with Wobbly. It was two other cars.
No.
Completely separate.
Like it was an unfair casualty of fate.
Yes. So we've had Spencer McCarthy to pit road now as well. He's come out some way ahead of Gary, but Gary should be able to pick up some pace and some time now. Closest battle on track is this one, which is Carl Hardy and Freddie Van Eekhoven. Your race leader at the moment is Stephen Walker.
What's Carl doing up in third?
I don't know, but he's going to get nosebleed in a minute.
He was nowhere near there, was he?
Not previously, no. But there's a couple of pit stops happened that have benefited him so far.
He did. So yeah,
but he's still doing well.
He's doing well. Yeah, he's doing great to be in third. It's lovely, and Freddie won't let him go because they've had some great battles recently. They have, and you know, Cole's got his knees tonight.
Yeah. Jamie
After
Jeffrey.
his weekend, being a pilot in a cart at Le Mans, out there drinking the French wine and camping in a field, reliving the joys of his youth.
Oh, Stefan. Oh, well done, Jamie Jeffrey, for avoiding that.
Well done, Steph, for holding on to the car.
And that, yeah. Well, wasn't the principal thing I was focused upon. As Lee Bowden joins pit road, I think this is going to be the start of several cars coming in, because if you're not on the early stint and you're not on the late stint, you're not on any stint. That makes sense. As these three pilot into the hairpin here again. The two in front, Carla's move forward, I think.
He's got into the 2.6s nicely, and
yeah,
and so's Freddie. Look, you see how tight they are on time, them two. You know, it's just
very
intense.
Yeah. And that's just down the road there. This is Demis Jigjalar, Jamie Jeffrey, and Stefan Goebel, who had a very sideways moment earlier. Oh, Jamie Jeffrey! Oh, good.
Yeah, great car control. They get out of shape, but my God, they're great on the counter steer. They're so quick.
Yeah, and Stefan's going to get this, you would expect, because he's got the momentum, but the Audi's not good. He's got the momentum now. The Audi's not good at that mid-pace, I don't think. So Jamie's managed to defend that.
Yes. There was a little window there for Stefan, but I'm not sure he can do it now.
No.
Looks like he can't, doesn't it? Still, he'll be pushing on and trying. He's a master of that car. There's nobody knows that car better than he. So he'll be doing whatever he can to get by. He's in a great position. They're both doing very well, 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
And Matt Flannery's doing well in 8th as well.
He is,
so,
yeah.
Let's see.
So we got...
and JV's doing better in this race, isn't he? That's more like what we want to see.
Oh, God, look at Stefan go here on Jamie Jeffrey. I mean, Jamie Jeffrey's one of our fastest racers. He got a little touch there. But again, the car control from Jamie is phenomenal. Real life racer, of course. Same as this man, Spencer. We saw him in our Discord chat on his video at the weekend racing.
Well, currently 13th. I wonder how long it's going to take him before he's third.
Well, we've seen him cut through fields like a knife through hot butter. He's gone past Alejandro Advani there, and his next target is Jamie Wilson, who's well out of place. Way out of position.
Look at the gap he's created already.
Yeah.
It's just astonishing.
This is Sam Blees and Jamie Wilson still going at it. They were at positions 1 and 2 not long ago, and now they're door banging and everything going on here.
Well, this will suit Spencer because he's gonna be seeing this and thinking, oh, right, keep it up, guys.
Yeah, definitely. These are the first cars to, the lead cars that have already pitted. So this is like a real situation, real competitive racing now. As Sam gaps him a little bit there.
You've always got to think that Sam's going to have a slight edge in pace with these two.
You say that, but it wasn't. It was the last lap that Jamie Wilson overtook Sam back. So there's definitely something going on here. Jamie Wilson seems to have found his mojo on this track at least.
Well, it'd be nice.
It would. Carl Hardy under masses of pressure now from Freddie.
I don't think Cobbs is quite at his best tonight, and I think he's finding this a bit of a struggle.
Oh, right, okay.
And he's doing very well to keep his third place alive. But can he keep this up for, still got a long way to go.
Yeah, and, Miguel Freitas is in pit road. We'll go
this
back.
will be for a stop, won't it? This will be a planned stop, though.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see where Miguel pops back out. In theory, you would expect... Oh, he's just stopped. So I'll go back to some actual racing until he's not stopped. I want to see where he pops back out again on track. Ant Woodward's into pit road for a scheduled stop. Right, Miguel is...
Well, this puts our battlers into second and third.
Yeah, Miguel's done well there. Miguel's done very well there. So that's Miguel. And this is the next nearest competition.
Where is he?
He can't have stopped long enough, surely. Oh my... I'm not going to say anything at the minute, but... not properly anyway. But Miguel's stop was significantly shorter than everybody else on track. So... what does he know that nobody else does? And that's Jamie Wilson getting a position back from Sam Blees. I don't know what Jamie Wilson's been eating, but I need a bucket full of it.
Wow, Jamie. Mighty impressive, matey. You don't often see anybody go past Sam, to be honest.
No, it's either Popeye's spinach or some Scooby snacks, but Jamie Wilson has clearly got it going on at the minute. Why is everybody overtaking JB? Oh, that's why.
Oh, shame.
Yeah.
We've got a short soft spot for him, haven't we?
Yeah.
Such a gentleman. Such a gentleman.
He was in the battle with Spencer and co. So, I think he's maybe taken damage somewhere. Oh, he's crabbing.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's a very damaged car. I think whatever happened had happened before that.
Yeah, he was trying to drive in, wasn't he? He's trying to drive in.
He was trying to drive in, and he's still trying to drive in, bless him. It was this. So whatever happened at this bit of the track, just before what we would... Oh! That was vicious.
Ouch.
Yeah, so he's obviously smashed his car up good and proper there.
And he's just gone past the pits as well.
Yes. There's no worse feeling, is there? As it happens, if he can get round, he'll stay on the lead lap probably.
Yes. He doesn't need a towing from there, that's for sure.
No.
That's the race ender.
Yes, definitely. Right, so there's this chaos going on now. So Jamie Wilson doing a fantastic job of keeping Sam Blees behind him, but all that's doing is attracting the attentions of Spencer.
Well, inevitable, isn't it, that Spencer's going to catch them?
I would have thought so, yes.
But
Door to door, this is
Jamie's
good.
doing himself no harm at all, is he? And
No.
this is great to see. He's there mixing it with these two of the top drivers you'll see anywhere, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And,
So
yeah, great to see. We like
Jamie.
Jamie. He's a great driver.
Jamie's now got to defend against Spencer. But he's been catching Sam Blees at the back end of the lap, each lap. I don't think it'll happen this time. Oh, maybe it will. Because he's good on the brakes, isn't he?
Wow, that was great, wasn't it? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
beautiful. They had that car pinned, you know. You just got to get the speed in and out just right, and he had it absolutely. I don't think he could have taken that sweeter. But
No.
look here, look at this.
He's going to get the cut back and the momentum going onto this very long, not straight now.
Did you see how Spencer carried the pace through there,
sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it was the same as what Jamie did to him on the previous corner. I was at the wrong bit of track, by the way. We've got the tight left-hander at the top of the hill here now. And Jamie, great on the brakes. He was good on... He came back at Sam hugely. I mean, he won't be able to get near Sam now because he's got Spencer in the way. But maybe that Elantra has got what it takes on this track. As we see this chaos going on way back here.
Keep it clean, guys.
This is Gary Craig now, doing his best to overtake. Oh, God. Alejandro Advani going into the chicane. This is going to end badly, maybe, unless... Ah, right. Alejandro backed out of that, which was sensible. It's going to put him at risk of losing another place to Lee Bowden. But
that's the only problem, isn't it? When you do the sensible thing and just lift slightly, it does make you vulnerable to the guy who's behind.
You just get
he doesn't have to. He can see what's going on. He can just keep it planted that second longer, and there you go.
Yeah, Lee is going to hold him out here at the hairpin, I think.
Well, he's got the line, hasn't he? It's a big advantage here to have that inside line.
Oh, and Lee's contacted with Charles.
Oh, crikey.
We're going to have to watch that again. It did look like Lee was closing at one hell of a rate. But was it that Charles was on the brakes very, very early? I mean, look at the distance. Gary's just overtaken Charles.
Whoa.
Yeah, that has to be Lee's error. He was sailing it in massively. Bit of frustration kicking in, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I just think he probably misjudged his braking slightly.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much.
In a situation, you know, when you're
speed.
in close competition and you've only got to try and be stealing a fraction, and it can everything can go wrong.
Do not adjust your sets, folks. Jamie Wilson's back in front of the two Geo boys.
Well, I never thought to see this.
We're going to have to watch this because this...
can you believe that? I mean, he looks like he's gapping them.
I know, look at the state of this. So there you go, is sailing into turn one. Ding!
Oh, that was generous. Oh, so it was a charitable donation.
It was, because Spencer then has waited to let Sam through after turning him in true sportsmanship fashion. And then as soon as it's sorted, he's back on the gas.
Oh, well, there you go.
And just in case...
just about says everything about this league, doesn't it?
It does, and it also says...
Please wait, mate, we're racing.
There you go. So...
Yeah. Well, Jamie, get your foot down, lad.
Yep.
It's manna from heaven.
That was a pure gift of the gods, that was. Meanwhile, in another Jamie world, Jamie Jeffrey... Still fighting here with Demis Tikchalar. And Lee Bowden has gone to pit road. Is that a scheduled stop?
You'd think so by now, wouldn't you?
No, this is his second visit. And I think he's out of the car.
Oh, he's out.
He is.
So what was that
He is
about?
out. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't having the right night for racing. I'm not sure. But Jamie Jeffrey trying to work the situation with Demis Tikchalar. Round the outside of Demis and making it stick. That's pretty impressive racing, to be honest. And Stefan monopolising on that one. That's going to end badly.
Oh.
Oh! Deary me.
That's okay. That could have been a lot worse.
It could. I think there was air between them as again.
Crikey.
Let's see if that's been offered up on this.
Has Stephen been in the pits?
Stephen Walker, no.
So he's doing his extended run at the front to try and slice and dice the opposition.
Yeah. So we'll watch this again because it's worth watching again. Stefan with a mega run.
That was great, wasn't it?
It was. And then...
He carried some pace
Oh
through
no,
there.
no air at all. Just got into the side of Stefan there.
Oh, unfortunate.
Very.
You know, you're carrying the momentum. You've worked your car into a really good position, and all of a sudden, you know, misjudgment, slight contact. It's back to square one.
It is, yeah, and I don't know how many times this has gone on so far, but Jamie Wilson is now having to defend against the two Geo cars again of Spencer and Sam. Can't turn in on the first one. Blocks the momentum of Sam Blease.
They're having a great time, aren't they? Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet the grins are a mile wide in there.
Do you know what?
Jamie will be loving this.
Yeah, do you know what I like about this? Honda, Elantra, and Veloster. 3 different cars making up this battle. I think it's fantastic, this now. The balance of performance for these is brilliant at the minute.
Yes. Yeah, and it's made for... It was great last season as well, wasn't it? When they instituted the changes. We've had some fantastic racing ever since. It really did change everything and renewed the TCR field.
It did, yeah. So let's have a look. Who is the most forward racer that's pitted? It's Miguel Freitas.
Well, that's a scary thought, you know. He's only in 7th. He's doing 205s.
He is doing 205s. Yeah, he's the only one doing 205s, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got a clean track in front of him, clear track rather, and is absolutely taking advantage of that fact. So good on him.
He's doing everything that he needs to do to win this race.
Yes, he is. And Jamie Jeffrey has finally got past Demis, but I don't know for how long, because Demis is doing very well at the moment. And behind the pair of them is Stefan. And then they've only got 8 seconds before we find, you can see him at the top of the hill there behind him, Big Meg.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying. And why wouldn't you be? He's a master. He's a fantastic pilot. And this is a dream position. You've got your car just set up to take you to the end of the race. You can see exactly what you've got to do in front of you. Most of the guys in front of you have got to stop. All you've got to do is carry on chucking out these super fast laps, and by the end of the last few laps, you're going to be at the front or very close to it.
Yeah. So Lee Bowden on the chat says he was having a nightmare tonight. He ended up with a drive-through in the end, and time to call it a day.
Poor Lee.
It started right.
Unlucky, matey.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
It started right at the beginning of the race for him. Sadly, he got embroiled in that Gary Wobbly affair. Tell you what, Jamie has still got Sam behind him, which is great in terms of us watching racing. Spencer's checked out a little bit in front of them. Different lines into the corners gives the Elantra a bit of an advantage over the Veloster there. But
Where's Spencer got that pace from? Because they were all going at it, and you know he's just created the gap out of thin air.
well, he was behind these guys by quite a lot, and he's just romped up, overtaken them, and disappeared off down the road. Excuse me, coming through, and then off he goes. You know what are you supposed to do with that?
Out of nowhere.
You know. Ooh. And Stefan and Demis are now absolutely going at it in ding-dong fashion with 2 Audis. So It's not over. I will show their little exchange from a moment ago. Demis is brilliant on the braking at the hairpin there, but Stefan might make that back up. Let's have a quick look at the exchange from a few seconds ago. So Stefan gets a mega run, a bit of gravel for Demis, I think
Yeah,
that was.
a bit of gravel. That's giving Stefan the opportunity. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Tips it in.
Superb driving. Look how careful they're being with each other.
Yeah, Stefan got
I
too
love
close
David.
to Jamie.
Oh,
Lifted
look at
out.
held back. Whoa, that was awesome, wasn't it?
It was. Charles Walsh and Alejandro Advani to pit road. It's almost synchronised. Although Alejandro, I think, has been there a little bit longer. No, a little bit less time, sorry. So they're away.
Stephen's got 14 seconds. Am I reading that right?
Stephen's got 14 seconds over Carl Hardy, yeah. The first 6 cars on your timing tower there have yet to pit. Your first car after pitting is Miguel Freitas in 7th place.
14 seconds is a fair old gap.
Isn't it? And still, Jamie Wilson stays ahead of Sam Blease. This is probably the best racing performance I've seen from Jamie Wilson in these cars, especially in the Elantra, for a while.
Yes, I don't think I've ever seen Jamie stand somewhere quite as long as this.
This looks like 1,000 laps practice to me. Yeah.
But this is a fantastic performance by him.
Look at that.
Oh, Big Mill's dropped in another 5 seconder.
Oh, really?
Purple again. 205.5. He's destroying this circuit.
He is, isn't he? So these two pitted at the same time, both in Audis. I don't think they'll have run out of fuel because there's too many cars gone again. Oh, and hang on. Oh, right, it's just happened. I don't know whether Jamie Wilson can snap straight back. He was doing it before. Oh, and he sailed it into that chicane too heavy.
Well...
Oh, and a little touch is enough. Oh, hang on, it's... Oh, right, okay. It's still going on. It's still going on.
Yeah, they haven't finished yet.
No.
Well, this is a barrel of monkeys worth of fun for these guys, and it's quite a treat for us as well.
Yeah, I expect in an interview, Jamie and Sam will probably both be giggling. This is the sort of racing that they both like. I do think that Sam likes to win by a country mile from time to time, but he'll be enjoying the racing nonetheless.
And these two,
Whoa.
they've not stopped. They've not stopped. He's been trying to get in Cole's boot since the start of the race.
Yeah, and he's managed to get past him now. I don't know whether Carl had some sort of slowdown or not. Don't know what's going on there. Right, what can Jamie do about
Can he keep with him now? That's the question for Cole. Can he keep up? They've got the pits to deal with.
Oh, hang on. Hadn't Carl just overtaken Freddie? I think he had. Because Freddie's now ahead of Carl again. And this is how he managed it.
Yeah. Cole's been running second for a long time. He was.
Oh no, sorry. I'm being thick. That was the overtake we watched.
Yeah.
Carl has entered pit road.
So, yeah, he's taking his pits now, so probably a smart move. We're all waiting on when Stephen takes his pits, and Miguel's faster. Now this is interesting because Stephen's at the front of the field. He's got nothing but in front of him but clean air. Normally, that's an invitation to him to do the fastest laps.
Yes.
He pours out incredible, consistent fast laps, but He's being matched by Miguel this evening, who's knocking out those 205s. And I wonder if he's actually going to manage to pull off his magic tonight.
I don't know. I think Miguel's got a huge advantage from being in completely clean air for a lot longer than a lot of other cars. Gary Craig here with a freshly fixed car. Well, not freshly fixed. It's been fixed since lap 4, I think it was. He's trying to make his way back through the field. He's much delayed. He's in 11th at the minute. I think he'll be looking at a top 8 if he can manage it. Fiona Siddons,
yes.
pit road. Sorry.
He should be happy with that, though, shouldn't he? I mean, it could be.
Yes.
He's in a position where he's fetching his hands a bit. He's there. He's got the working car. It's up to him now to try and get claw back as many points as he can.
Yeah, he's done really well around the hairpin there.
Well, he had good pace before, didn't he? He was driving well. So we know he's driving well. No, I would expect to see him be well in the top 10.
So our provisional race leader is in the pits.
Oh, now this is the one. Let's see.
Jamie Jeffrey's gone to the pits, and Miguel Freitas is on the start-finish straight.
Well, he's going to walk away with that.
I think he's going to be what they call romping away, because he's going to have at least 5 seconds over Stephen once Stephen's up to speed.
It's Stephen now. So, well, it's going to be well in sight. It's very promising, isn't it? Look at that. That's a luscious prospect, if you ask me.
Yes. It's going to be 3.5 seconds by the time Stephen gets up to speed. Is this for real? Jamie Jeffrey's going to come out right behind Jamie Wilson. Oh no, he's coming out behind Stefan. Jamie Wilson has got Carl Hardy in front of him. Somebody needs to explain that one to me.
Well, Carl is just out of the pits, isn't he?
He is, and so is Freddie Van Eekhoven just in front of these guys. This is going to come to the boil now. This is going to be a hard-fought 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place, possibly 9th.
They've been scrapping. They've all been scrapping non-stop, but in a slightly different configuration, haven't they? This has just added a bit of different spice to a already spicy pudding.
Yeah, so let me run through where we're at. So Miguel Freitas is your race leader now. He's pulled a blinder again. He leads Stephen Walker by 3 seconds. That's what 3 seconds looks like. Spencer McCarthy is a further 14 seconds. I can't believe I'm saying it. 14 seconds further back down the road from those two. Then Freddie Van Eekhoven, 5 seconds behind Spencer. Then there's a little gap. You can see it there, 1.7 seconds. That is looking to reduce, looking at the times on the screen. And then Carl Hardy, Jamie Wilson, Stefan Goebel, Jamie Jeffrey, and Gary, with Demis Tigchalar in close company. So that there's like 7 cars there that will shortly be crawling all over one another, I think.
Look at that. Well, they're well in sight of each other, and that tends to magnetize cars.
Yes.
And these guys they've not stopped scrapping, have they? Carl and Freddie, Jamie, and they've Stefan's coming in as well now. They've all been absolutely fighting, so they're going to be tired and on the ragged edge a bit, I think.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's going to happen. This is tiring. They've already done a full-on 20-minute race and not much recovery time. Then you do 40 minutes and it's eyeballs out all the way. You don't get a breather.
No.
And yeah, I'll be tired. So Carl's got to hang on. He's under threat from Jamie, that's for sure. Jamie's shown so much pace this evening.
He's certainly been the most competitive I've seen for quite a long time. His first race tonight, he finished 11th. In this one, he's currently 7th. I think there may be a position that he can take from that. However, one of the slightly faster cars on track right now is Gary Craig, who's catching Jamie Jeffrey quite quick, and we know Jamie Jeffrey is quite a difficult character to overtake. So we'll have to see what's going on with this one.
Yes, and yeah, he's a fighter. He's Jamie, isn't he? He's been he's he's another one who's just been in the scrap all night, this is Gary trying to preserve as much of his race as he can.
Yes.
And work back through the field. So he will be wanting a quick resolution to this discussion.
He will, yeah. I don't think there'll be much discussion. I think it'll be a non-verbal exchange. Gary's in a good place to build a overtake on the start-finish straight. He'll need to be a little bit closer than he is currently getting into this corner, and I don't think he's done particularly well with that unless he's going to get late apex, but I don't think he's in a position to do anything this lap. Not here, anyway.
No.
Stefan
He's going to be a lot closer than that if he's going to put a threat on Jamie Jeffries, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Stefan's doing a brilliant job at the minute. Where did he finish in the first race? Stefan, where did you finish? I think you were about 8th. So he's gonna.
He had a good race, a good run in the first race. He did. He's had a good night really, because he did well in the first race. He's had good pace, hasn't he? He made a good start in that first race, and he made a good start in the second race. He's doing well.
He did. Absolutely right. These two are catching Stefan in front. I think Gary's desperate to get past looking at his car. He's biding his time, but he's got a bit of a run here, and Jamie Jeffrey has reacted to that and gone defensive into the hairpin at the bottom here.
They're all in the... Look at that. They're all 206.7, 206.8.
Yeah, not much in it at all, is there?
And that's, you know, that's these three.
Yeah.
That's Stefan, Jamie, and Carl, and Gary. So they're it's very hard to make a pass when your advantage is 2/10, especially in a place like this where, you know, you're not going to do it on the brakes, are you? Not easily.
And yes, just to echo what Freddie's saying, as Gary Craig gets on the inside, which is now the outside of Jamie Jeffrey, heading into the chicane here. He's going to have to back out of that. There's only one line through there, really.
Yeah, I think Gary's trying to get he's getting a bit desperate because he really needs to get by him, doesn't he?
He wants to, because he's oh, checkered flag. Where did
already?
I'm not kidding.
Goodness.
I'm not kidding. That's crept up on me. Yeah, no wonder Gary was desperate to get through.
A couple of laps. Well, no wonder.
Yeah.
I thought we got a couple of laps.
Me too. Unbelievable. I thought we had 2
Well,
laps
well
left.
done, Ants. Yeah, Ants finished. He's managed to keep it. I told you those Ants cubes and his bathers would do a good job.
Absolutely. Still got a few people to finish, starting with Matt Flannery over the line. Here comes Ant Woodward. Not rage quit this time. Miracle.
No. The ice cubes have done a fantastic
Might
job.
be candidate for driver of the meeting, not rage quitting. Tony Walker over the line on his return to us. Doing a great job there. Charles Walsh. Again, finished. A few battles along the way there. And yes, Alex was Freddie so close to the podium this time, absolutely right. Not far away from the first podium for a Racing Forces car, I would not have thought. And JB Desjou is going to finish behind Alejandro Advani.
Yeah, that was a fine performance by Freddie, wasn't it? He was competitive
nice.
the whole race through, and he had really great pace.
Yeah, if it wasn't
And
for his...
he managed to gap Carl. Him and Carl had only locked together, but he managed to get past him, and Sam was split them, of course. He was but Freddie had pulled away and made a gap over Carl, and that's a really good effort on his part. Very good drive tonight.
Yeah. There's lots of good drives. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't
really.
believe we've just had 4.
Emerson as well. You know, both their team's done great tonight, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I can't believe we've had 40 minutes already. It seems to go in a flash.
Yeah, goodness.
Absolute
Yeah.
flash.
No, it's
I
it
mean,
keeps happening, doesn't it? We get caught out. What can you say? We get caught out. The racing's engrossing,
it's just
and
incredible.
you don't want it to stop, really.
No. It'd be great if it
Oh,
didn't.
except it just give me a chance to have a short slurp of this 10-year-old single malt.
Oh, why not?
Mm.
Who's the distiller in choice?
Mm. Oh, this is me Glen.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yes, we're it's still on special offer.
Well, while you, what's that? Been a while we don't get the top 3 positions of the BST. Been a while we don't get in the top 3 positions of a BSTV Team Championship. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Racing Forces will be up there very soon. Demis did well, he did. Right, let's bring in the first of our interviewees. Good evening to Miguel Freitas.
Good evening.
And a double congratulations. A flag-to-flag victory in race 1, which you made look not ridiculously easy. We've seen you make other tracks look very, very easy. This one you had to keep on your toes, I think. And then in the second race, a brilliant strategy. You pitted reasonably early, got yourself in some clean air after all the shenanigans at the start of race 2. But talk us through your first race first.
Yeah, the first race was harder than I was hoping. I got a good quali. I felt I had still so much that I could improve, but failed the last couple of laps. And then in the race, I was struggling to get away from Sam. Most of the race, he just kept right on my bumper. But yeah, then towards the end, I managed to create a small gap that gave me some comfort to go to the flag.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you had a very controlled approach to the first race, in my opinion. It wasn't made easy for you, that's for certain. But fantastic racing nonetheless. And in the second race, your strategy, was that a strategy that you had to do? Because you didn't get away from the very start of the race without any incidents, did you? I think you got a bit of a shunt from somebody behind you when the whole track got a bit clogged. Obviously, Wobbly got pretty much taken out. Too much damage, I think that was. I don't know that for a fact. But he's retired the car. But your strategy was excellent. We saw you sailing past Sam as he came out of the pits. Sorry, yeah, it was Sam, yeah. Stephen it was. Sorry, Stephen. Yeah, you've brought home a double victory for Impulse Racing tonight.
Yeah, that I wasn't expecting on the second race, but yeah, I guess many people had damage on the first lap. I got a couple of incidents there on the first turn and then on the final chicane, but I think I managed to. At least I did not have any noticeable damage.
Right.
But yeah, people around me seem to get some damage because yeah, when I got out of the pits, I had a huge gap behind, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, then I had a clean track and I just tried to do as many fast laps as possible to overtake Steven in the end.
So you're gonna have to talk me through your pit lane, because your pit time rather. So your pit lane stationary time was fast, but it wasn't significantly faster than anyone else. So it's not like you took massively less fuel, but your pit lane time was 3 seconds faster than virtually everybody else. So have you got a secret here at this track? I didn't say it in the broadcast because I thought somebody's going to figure out that there's a faster way to do this. So I kept quiet. So your secret is safe up till this point. So what do you attribute 3 seconds worth of pit lane time to?
I don't have a secret. I was using the pit limiter and not messing with the gears or something like that, which people
Right.
usually do.
Yeah, I've
But
heard of that before, but I've never managed to make that work. But carry on.
yeah, but I think the thing that made me gain more time is that I entered in the pit lane with about 90 or 80 kilometers per hour, and the limit was 60. And I just
Oh,
slowed down after
the
the
cones.
cones, but I did not get a black flag, so I was very
Oh.
lucky. But yeah, I entered way too fast, but got away
Right.
with it.
Oh, well done. If you don't get caught, it must be legal. So yeah, great stuff. Fantastic, actually. That might have been part of defining your ability to stay out in front um, overall. But you overall you did a fantastic job anyway. It's great to watch you race. It was fantastic tonight to figure out where you were going to pop out, and then when you did a 33-second pit lane time, I was like, wow, that is mega. So yeah, brilliant stuff. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate with 2 bottles of simulated champagne?
Yeah, the same guys as usual, the Impulse Racing team, especially the TCR squad, and then Wobbly again for taking the time to make the setups, which are working like a charm.
For you, they are. It looks. It's like he's an accident magnet at the minute. You're gonna have to have a stern word with him, aren't you? And get him to sort himself out.
It's just getting unlucky. It's part of it.
No, great stuff though. Next time we are at Jerez. Have you bought the track, got the track, and raced the track?
I have the track and I did like 2 or 3 laps, so I really
Right.
need to practice that.
Okay. I think everybody's going to have to do that. It's a reasonably new track to the service. So yeah, that should make for interesting racing next time. It seems like the struggles of the Honda that you had last time out at Knockhill have been forgotten, and back to winning ways for you. So congratulations tonight, Miguel. You've done a great job. Alan, any
Yeah,
comments for
no,
Miguel?
it was really outstanding drive, wasn't it? We was saying because Stephen had created a 12-second gap before he went into his pit stop, so he was doing well and doing pretty much what you were doing, some really very fast, consistent lapping. But you had the edge. You were doing the purple laps. You went into the fives, and wow, just fantastic, superb drive, and really an unstoppable force. And yeah, all down to your own good work as well. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was. I was looking at his lap times and I was trying to make sure I wouldn't fall behind.
I mean,
No,
205s are a blistering pace round here, clearly. And yeah, you did a great job. Miguel Freitas, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
good night.
Right
Jolly well
then.
done.
Yeah, that was stunning, really. Right then, let's see. Who do we want in next? We shall get in. I've just lost where Discord is. There it is. Right, well, let's drag Stephen into the booth. So, the luckiest Wookiee in the land, with the lucky underpants, Stephen Walker. Good evening.
Hola.
Hola,
Hola.
amigos. Hey.
Hola.
So, race 1, race 2 is second place. But race 1 didn't fare so well necessarily. 4th place, but great points in both races in for the championship, and particularly for the team, because I think your Hydro Race Geodesic Racing White combined score is going to be taking some serious dents out of the Impulse finisher. I suppose your only challenge there is the fact that Miguel got a first place in both races.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. But talk us through your first race, because 4th place. I mean, you this is your second race week back with us, so you're doing fantastically well already again. But yeah, talk us through your first race first.
I got an initial good launch, but then I just twitched my foot on the clutch, so it was then turned into a really bad one. So I was fighting one of the Audis around the first couple of corners, and I thought I had enough of my car on the inside to have the space, but when I've looked back on the replay, while I did have some car there, I probably should have backed out. But when you're in the car, it looks like you have a bit more alongside. So it's just one of them first lap incident things, I think.
Yeah, you get bunching, don't you, in the first lap? So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Obviously I feel for that. I don't know whether it was Demis or Freddie, whoever it was. Obviously I apologise. But yeah, I think, and then I dropped down, and then I was a bit tilted, a bit angry. So then I just absolutely cocked up the fast hairpin before the last corner. Absolutely, after I'd got to slow down, had to get rid of that on the start finish straight, and then just work my way back up. I would have finished 5th if Wobbly hadn't have crashed out of that race or had an off and then came back on. But yeah, like you said, 4th is decent. It gives you a decent shot at getting near the front of the next race. Plus, I think Sam was second. So again, like really, we just need to outscore Impulse as much as possible. But I don't know if we will for the rest of the rounds. But Miguel was just stupidly quick. I couldn't.
He was, wasn't
he? Yeah, we did an official last night, and don't get me wrong, he was quick in that. But tonight he was, I would argue, at some points, half a second a lap quicker.
Whoa, right, okay.
Than what he was last night. So it was insane. Yeah, I had the pace, but not every lap as good as him. He was really good tonight. He deserved that win in that second race. Like I got a decent start, avoided the incident. I got 4 incident points from the stuff that happens just to my right, but luckily I didn't really get caught up in it and got away with it. And then
you were on the outside of that, weren't you? Really? You kind of scooted around the outside like someone desperate to avoid it.
Yeah, it worked well last night in the official. So I went around I got an average start, and I went round because I started 4th there, and I went round the outside and was second by the 3rd corner. So I was like, well, I'll just do that again then because it worked last night. So I think Sam followed me as well. So we managed to make it through the rest of the guys, and then Miguel was catching me stupidly quick. I couldn't be consistent. Last week at Knockhill, I knew exactly what I was doing. I could be consistent. I could do lap times within hundreds of each other. Whereas here, obviously, the longer lap doesn't help. But one lap would be a 2:06.3 and another would be a 2:05.9. So it was like this 4/10 difference. And when Miguel can do a 10th quicker than you every lap, I was when he caught me, I made a bit of a mistake because I was too busy watching behind me. But when he caught me and he pitted, I was looking at his lap times, and there was a few laps where I'd match him, but then there'd be another lap where he pulled half a second.
Right.
So I kind of knew he would be in front. Yeah, I knew he'd be in front when we came out the pits. And I think after it settled down, it was about 3 seconds. And with him being so quick, he could have underdrove to not get any incident points, and I don't think I would have caught him. So.
Yeah, he was inside as you came out the pits, wasn't he? And we just wondered his lap times have been so amazing. I mean, you were in the front and you were in clear here reasonably, and no doubt you were doing your best laps as well. So, and he was, like you say, he was just popping up with these amazingly purple laps, wasn't he? And I think you did well to hold him as where you did, to be honest.
Yeah, there was nothing I could do. Like I say, he was mega quick. It was
stunning
good
performance,
fun,
but it's great. It makes for great viewing, Stephen. Honestly.
Yeah, it was
racing.
quite a good race up and down the grid from what I could
hear
and what I could see. I had a great time coming through the fields. Like it was never just I think Stefan just pulled over and give it to me, but everyone else put up a proper battle, a clean battle and everything. So you just have to take your opportunities. It's difficult to overtake the guys in here. Everyone's quick and they like to defend, and that's great. Like I want to race people, but overall team points is what we've got to look at. So yeah, it was overall it was a good meeting. I quite take that. After I didn't have the pace after the first race. I made changes, and the car felt better for the second race, but I just wasn't as quick as Miguel. He was super quick, super deserving. Like, hats off to him.
Yeah,
No,
it
well
was, yeah,
said.
but it was a great, always gracious, and but it was fantastic racing, and pleasure to watch as usual.
And good to see Tigger back. Your brother, he's done all right actually. 2/14 in his first race week back with us.
Yeah, I think he got caught up in a bit of the start of the second race. Otherwise, he might have had a
Yes.
bit of a better race. But otherwise, yeah, it's good to have him back. He's not. I think this is literally today, maybe yesterday, is the first time. Might even be today the first time he's even driven the game since the end of last season, because he's been really busy and with life and work, and then just not having some of the tracks. So it was just like, oh, I'll just come back, see what I can do. And yeah, in my opinion, he's done well,
Oh
considering
yeah.
he's hardly had any seat time.
No, that's even better then.
Yeah, it's a big grid as well.
Yeah, 20, 21, 20, 20, 21, 20 cars. Heref next time. Someone's just told you to shut up. Oh well, I'll let you guess who that was. Heref next time. Have you even got the track yet?
Yeah, I've done some LMP2 practice around there. It's a really good track. I don't know how it'll be in these cars. It might be quite hectic, but I think it will lend itself to good racing. There's a straight for drafting, and then there's some quite tight corners you can cut a lot of the track, and not getting off track or anything like that. So it'll be a bit different. Yeah. I think it will be good racing, and as a track, I enjoy it. I don't know how these cars will be. It'll probably be ideal for these cars, to be fair, but it'll be quite a long lap. But ultimately, it should be fine. Cool. I know where I'm going. It's just doing it in this car now instead of a different car.
Absolutely. Just give you one of these.
Please wait, mate. We're racing.
Just because it's funny.
We're racing.
Never ceases to amuse. Fantastic entertainment tonight. Great racing. Fantastic battling. And we will see you next time in Heref. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously you guys putting on the show. Sam, my teammate. My brother for showing up, the rest of the guys on the grid for showing up week in, week out, and making it fun.
Awesome stuff. In that case, definitely see you next time out. Stephen Walker, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, dear.
Classic. Right, who are we getting next? It needs to be the boy. It needs to be the boy McCarthy. Good evening, Spencer.
Good evening.
Evening.
Yes, is he still in here, or have you expelled him?
I've
expelled.
Talking
too much?
Yes. He
he's still hiding somewhere in the chat room.
Well, he might be. He's trying to take Tyler's mantle of longest interview ever known to the human race ever. But I think he's gonna have to stay in for at least another 30 minutes to do that. 2 third places. That's pretty red hot,
consistent.
Isn't it? Consistent. Yeah, absolutely. First race was it third place to third place? I can't remember where you started.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, third to third.
Yeah, and then made your way through the field in typical Spencer fashion in the second race, but got a bit mired up in all that nonsense at the start for a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a sideways impulse car in front of me. Couldn't really go anywhere. He was literally sit there, sort of with his wheels lit up, trying to get the front back round again.
Yeah.
And obviously I watched it on the replay, and then I did it in slow mo, and it looked like he was there for ages. And obviously in slow mo he kind of would be, but
yeah.
I did take a lot of speed off.
It's rude that he parked his car like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It was one of those things. I would have had to reverse to get around him, and then I was like, and then I thought. And then you get one of those moments of like, oh, should I just nudge him? And then it would just push his front round, and then we can go again. But obviously, with the current damage model, it then meant that, oh no, his suspension got completely wrecked, and my bumper fell off.
Right. So, yeah, we're watching on the replay there your lack of front downforce, but increased cooling to the engine.
Yes. Very cold.
Yeah, you had some success in real world racing, which we know is inferior to sim racing at the weekend, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch the interview at the end? I thanked Pete Bingham.
Did you? I
saw
missed that.
No,
I
not really.
switched
I'm just
off that.
joking.
Oh, I thought it was
Maybe I should have
famous.
done that.
That was famous.
Maybe I should have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, it was a good fun weekend. Actually, had a really good result. But yeah, this is obviously an important one.
This is life.
and
This is life.
yeah, absolutely. Commentary on this is much better than the
Absolutely.
Than the real
All
one.
that professional nonsense.
Yeah.
Jerez is the next destination for this series. I'm guessing you've done some laps around there.
No,
No,
I don't own
excellent.
it. I've never obviously been there in real life either, because that would have been a long way away and very expensive. But no, I haven't bought it yet. I will try to do that in a minute, maybe, or actually go in the other room and have a cup of coffee and sit down for a bit. Maybe I'll do that instead. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the track. I can't really remember ever racing it on any sim, so I don't know. It'd be good to learn a new one.
The only game I've ever raced it on is MotoGP, like 2015 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because it's a bike track first and foremost.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But we've seen that the bike tracks like Alton Park, etc., and Knockhill obviously can make some very good racing. I mean, good grief.
Yeah. Like Cadwell. Cadwell should be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It should
Although
be.
it's not. You
No.
can't. You have to cut all the cars in half to get two of them side by side.
That's true.
It's very narrow.
And when you go up, is it mountain or whatever they
Yeah,
call it?
the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you overtake.
You get airborne.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, get airborne through there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Be a real
it's quite
feature,
fun.
but there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, but I mean, let's talk more about my races, because obviously we kind of skipped over that quite a lot, and
Yeah, go on
you jumped straight onto other things. But
got to make up time from Stephen Walker. That's what's happening.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you just get away with that. So I think the second race was a bit of a ball ache in the way of the early impact and early issues. But yeah, I think Gary obviously caused the whole thing.
Yes,
and Gary,
he did, yeah.
I don't know what happened to Gary tonight.
He had mega damage after that.
Yeah, but something went wrong with Gary tonight. I think just all round. I think the first race and the second race, he was talking about like not having like a clean lap. Like we were like 5 laps in, and he was like, "I haven't had a clean lap yet," and I'm like,
Right.
"This is Gary we're talking about."
I know,
and then,
yeah.
And then he punts someone at the start of the second race.
It was wobbly though, so he's got a tenner coming towards him. So it's
Well, yeah, only if he gets into the interview.
this is true. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so he was driving like a nutcase tonight, so it's fair dues. And he then pitted before me, and then I thought, I better pit as well, get a fast repair done. And then set about what we're doing next. And Sam came out, and I'm like, actually, I'm not that far behind Sam when he actually came out of the pit, so let's see what's going on here. We had a great race with Jamie.
That was class.
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
Great. What
Yeah.
a watch that was. Yeah, fantastic.
Not sure Jamie liked it, because he got overtaken 3 times by both of us, so I'm not sure whether he appreciated that completely. Whether we were just sort of making sure that he knew that we could get past him, I don't know whether that was a thing. But then it was quite funny how Sam's race got ruined, because I mean he's way down the order, right? So you're not going to get around to interviewing him. So I best tell you what happened to Sam. So Sam had an absolutely brilliant run through the chicane, launched himself onto the grass on the exit, and then Ken Block styled it, bless him, through the grass, rejoined, went through the cones, which are the cones that take you onto the Norge line.
Yeah.
And one of them, believe it or not, this is iRacing, got stuck behind the wheel
No.
for the rest of the race.
For the race.
So the rest of the race. So
Awesome.
I'm then catching him, and we're going, Sam, I'm sort of gaining you quite a bit here. He's like, you're really quick down the straight, Spence. I'm like, yeah, it seems to be going all right. I don't know what I've done. I don't think I've done anything. And then, I just kind of zoomed up to him and had one sort of stab at him and then hit him, which was fun.
Yeah, we saw that. Then you let him
back
through
past
though.
him
Yeah.
and Jamie. So that was fun. And then we were still talking about your car's really quick, Spence. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with it. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, actually, mate, I wonder if there's a cone stuck. Oh, he's like, no, maybe, no. And then, sure enough, there was a cone.
Yeah, an offensive cone.
Which we're gonna call the dunce cap.
Oh
Obviously.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, look who got it.
Absolutely.
But
I'm after all that, I was very happy with third. I'll give you that.
yeah, and double thirds. So great points for Gio. I don't know whether you're going to be able to. Well, with the Wobbly not finishing the second race at all, I think you might pull a good amount of points back on Impulse Racing in the team.
Yeah.
But there's a
Yeah,
long way to go for that. But yeah.
Yeah, Steve and Sam will get some back on that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Matt did well tonight. He did. I heard there was an expletive at one point. So yeah, I'll have to look back on Matt's race and see what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it seems like he was having some fun.
He did. He had a good finish.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unluckily, if we had a third race, he would have been on pole for that.
yeah, definitely.
We don't do that.
No.
I think my nerves could stand it, to be honest, Spencer.
No, I'm knackered. Honestly, that was exhausting. 2 races with everybody battling all of the time.
Very exciting.
There wasn't even a dull bit.
More whiskey.
Yeah,
Oh God, I don't get the chance to drink it, to be honest, when I'm watching you, because it's just all action and very distracting from my serious drinking.
But anybody you would like to thank before we let you go, and probably bring Sam in? I guess we have to.
Probably I want to thank the marshals for waving the flags, and Wobbly for parking it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Okie doke. Well, we will see you at Jerez once you've learnt it and bought it and all the other stuff. And wish you the very best there as well. Spencer McCarthy, everybody.
Thank you.
Well done.
Right. We shall next. Ooh. I'm not very good at this mouse aiming business, but hopefully we've got the right guy. Sam Blees, good evening.
Hello.
Hello. So, apparently you like street cones.
Well, I don't love them anymore.
Oh, you've been hugging one for a while, albeit behind the front wheel of your car. Let's talk about
the most well-travelled cone in history.
Yeah.
It's done 15 laps to Nurburgring.
How it didn't wear itself down to nothing at all over the course of the race, I've no idea. But second place in the first race, fifth in the second race. I'm sure you were hoping for better in the second race, but you did get mired up a little bit in the shenanigans at the start. Who didn't? But
well, I got around it.
Did you follow Stephen around the outside? Did you?
Yeah, I followed Stephen, and I didn't even get any damage like he did. Like, well, I don't think he got damage. He got 4x, but then I had a little nudge with Demis at the end of the lap. Well, towards the end of the lap,
right,
which put me back 3 or 4 places.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pace was fine. Pitted early, and then I hit that cone, and then I was just 8/10 down, or to a second a lap down from there on in.
Oh, it's diabolical, Sam, isn't it? Goodness me.
The evil cones, evil cones.
I mean, it was entirely my mistake to put me there, so it's my fault I hit it, but it shouldn't have stayed under the car for 10 laps.
No, it should have set fire well before then with the friction from the tarmac. But you gave us quite a battle with Jamie Wilson that lasted, it felt like, for 40 minutes, really, because the race had finished. We didn't even notice because we were still watching you lot battling. It was phenomenal racing. I don't know whether Jamie was buzzing about it or frustrated with it. I'm not sure.
No, it was good fun. It was it's always good fun to race Jamie, and I had a bit more pace here. Like, my car felt really good, and I was quick in the first race, quicker than I'd felt in practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like I had a good shout in the second race, and particularly after Wobbly and Spencer hit some trouble, I felt like I should have been at least podium, and probably I should have been somewhere near Stephen and Miguel. But because I was so slow after that, I was just dropping back, and it put me basically close to on a par with Jamie's lap time. And then when Freddie came out the pits and my car came out the pits in front of me, it was all, not that I would normally pass them easily, but normally I would expect to get by without like a massive. I wouldn't expect it to be a 3 or 4 lap ordeal, but it made it that, which was actually really good fun. It meant it was really close battling, and it meant that even if I did get past, they were coming back on the straight, and then I had to make a late braking move and stuff. So it was good fun racing. It was really, really entertaining, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, just a shame I couldn't get a bit further forward, particularly with Wobbly having a bad result for championship points and stuff. Although as a team, I still think me and Wook did okay.
Oh no, you did. I said
Probably
that.
took a few points off impulse.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I was mentioning that while Stephen was in. You've probably bitten a good chunk out of that lead over the course of tonight. Still
Yeah,
a long
hopefully.
way to go, though. A long way to go on that
Indeed.
front. Jerez is the next destination for this league.
Yep.
Have you got it?
I bought it. I've done 2.5 laps in a Renault Clio,
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
and that's it.
Excellent.
So I need to spend a bit of time learning it.
Yeah, okay. On 2 wheels, apparently it's better than 4. But we'll see. We've seen some fantastic races around notorious bike tracks, as it were. So hopefully that'll be no different. Anybody you want to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate your second place in the first race?
Well, just thanks to Gary for annoying Wobbly enough to Alt F4 again.
Yeah.
And Jamie and Carl and Freddie, it was good racing and it was good fun. And you guys as always for hosting. It's always good racing wherever you end up on the grid. So we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you for that, and thank you to everybody who turned up. Oh, and to Freddie, he had a really good result.
He
Fourth, I
did.
think
He
his
did.
his best so far.
Yeah, he's going to be next in, whether he knows it or not. He probably knows it now because I can see him reading the messages on the chat. So great racing tonight again. Shame about the cone. Stop hugging them next time. You'll go faster. Sam, please.
I'll try not to hit him. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Well done, Sam.
Cheers.
Right. Next in, we're going to bring in, with his best result so far this season, and hopefully more to come, Freddie van Eekhoven. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, lads?
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
good,
Freddie.
pretty
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, in the first race, we saw you get tied up at the front in a bit of an incident, and it shuffled you back down the order. You finished 12th in the end there, and it put you in a good place for the second race because you ended up on pole. And your highest finishing position of the season so far, 4th place in the second race. But talk us through your first race. I think you're going to have to say the words Hydro Race Racing Forces at least 1,000 times in this interview in order to appease Alex Sevillano later.
Yes, yeah, and don't forget NetLife, of course.
And NetLife, yes. Yeah.
My first race was a bit of a mess.
Yep.
It's like if you cut down the first lap into 2 scenarios. Like the first scenario was just one of those things which happen in racing on the first lap. I got a slight touch and my car almost spun out, but the front wheel drive saved me. The second hit was a bit more rough. I didn't expect it. I think the guy behind me got caught out with cold tires.
Right.
And I was sent into the gravel. And I think I rejoined around 16th, 17th. And from there it was just trying to have some fun, battling forward. And then in the end of the race, I saw that I was 13th, so I was like, meh, I should get one more position back, so I'm at least on pole for the next race.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. And then in the second race, you managed to... Did you manage to stay out of all trouble? I think you did. You disappeared off down the road for a bit. You got overtaken. You pitted reasonably early, was it? Or were you one of the later ones? I can't really remember now.
I was one of the late ones. In the first lap, I got myself out with the cold tires and actually got a slowdown. So that pissed me off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I used that anger to just drive as secure as possible. And I had a great battle with Carl. Once again, we somehow find each other every week on track.
Yeah.
And then when I realized we were about the same pace, I just stuck behind him and saved a little bit of fuel, saved a little bit of the tires, to then push through in the end. And eventually I got P4 thanks to that.
Yeah, I mean you've done the best of all of the Audi drivers tonight, I think. Just looking through it, Demis finished and Stefan finished 8th and 9th. Stefan being 8th and Demis 9th. And in the second race, Demis was 11th. Stefan was 8th again. So yeah, I think you've outperformed the other Audi drivers. So you should feel pretty proud of that. Do you even own the next track? It's Jerez.
I don't own it, and will not be there to race it.
Ah, okay.
I will actually be moving to a different country, so that takes some while, takes some
Oh,
time
crap.
See,
and effort.
I thought he was going to come up with a decent excuse, Alan. Moving to a different country. Just let me flick through my book of excuses. Just give me a
Yeah.
sec.
Oh, well.
I can give you another one.
That
I'm
goes
actually.
well.
Go on.
Goodness me, it's a lot, isn't it?
He's about to stack it up. What was the next excuse?
That I'm actually moving in with my biggest fan, with my girlfriend. So.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's nice.
She's going to be your biggest fan until you move in with your biggest fan.
Yeah, until I have my first 24-hour race, probably.
yeah, exactly.
Buy her a rig.
Yeah, buy her a rig, get her involved. It's the only way forward. It's the only way forward. Which country are you moving to?
Germany. So that's probably why I did so well tonight.
Yeah, driving a German car. Yeah, it all works. So well done on all fronts. And we won't see you next time out at Jerez. But is there anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate your 4th place finish tonight?
Yeah. Racing Forces, Hyder Race, NetLife, Kenzie and Alex for posting the setups. And just the support. Demis for being a great teammate. There has been races where he gave me the position. And allowed me to get a better race result because of that. So yeah, all in all, just thank you to the team and everyone involved.
Awesome stuff. What's your girlfriend called?
Leia.
Leia. In that case, I would also give her a shout out because it's the only way you're going to keep racing is if she features in your interviews from now until the end of time. So here's your opportunity. Go for it.
Yes, thank you to Leia and also my brother for always watching.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's very sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we shall also thank Leia for letting you race with us for the rest of your mortal existences. She has to commit to that now, so awesome stuff. In that case, we will not see you next time out. We'll see you in a few weeks. Freddie van Eekhoven, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Well done, Freddie.
What a nice chap.
Yeah, lovely. Very
yeah.
lovely. I knew it would be.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, who are we going to drag in next?
And we still got customers. Goodness me.
We do.
Don't want to go home.
No. We're very popular people. Where did Jamie finish? Yeah, let's go for... Oh, I was going to go for Jamie. I've ended up clicking on somebody else.
Who's Peaky Blinders?
This has been told to me before. I'll find out while we're interviewing. Jamie Wilson, good evening.
The instant I keep my mic up talking to Sam. It's like a frame. It's like, Christ.
Yeah, well, I wanted to speak to you. We both did, actually, because you provided us with some serious entertainment tonight. It's been drama all the way through. The battle with Sam Blease in the second race. He's claiming it was to do with some sort of foreign object attached to his car in the form of a cone. We just think that you were on it like a car bonnet, and you gave us some fantastic door-to-door racing. I don't know how many times you overtook Geo cars tonight, but I reckon you'd have to take your shoes off to count it. Tell us about both your races.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a single word summary.
Yes.
If I was going to be all Finnish about it. It was good fun. The first race, both races were super defensive. So the first one, I think I was P11, but there were two cars behind. I think it was Jamie Jeffrey and Freddie off the top of my head. And I knew that if I'd lost one of those positions, I would lose both. So I'd end up out of the reverse.
Okay.
So I had to fight that. Quite difficult, but quite hard. But not fight it in such a way that cost me time for that reason.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
It was quite difficult kind of hang on, and I'd ever so slightly underfueled the car as well. So I was doing the teeny tiniest little fuel saves wherever I could, just like a split-second lift before braking, and it was just enough. I coughed at the line, so. Oh,
right. That's called perfection, right?
Of course, yeah. I planned it that way. So, and then in race 2, it was I was obviously up the front because of the reverse. Freddie got his slow down, ended up in the lead. That lasted about 2 seconds, and then I thought, look, I'm going to lose loads of time fighting Miguel and Spencer and Sam. I didn't know what else had happened at that point.
Yeah.
But I was expecting to be sort of freight trained or whatever, and I thought that's going to take a load of time. It's a weird fuel window here; you can get in really early, so I did that. And then the Geo boys basically kept repeatedly passing me, and then having some sort of balls up, and then having to pass me again. And I thought after the second time, I thought I'm already dead. Stop embarrassing me. So yeah, no, I put up a bit more of a fight because I thought, well, it's their own doing that they're behind me. So
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
so I
quite
sort of
right.
forced the issue a little bit. So yeah, no, it was good fun. I didn't know about Sam's cone. I'll choose your interpretation.
Yeah, too right. Next time out, you're going to be racing at Jerez. Do you own the track already, or is this going to be
Yes.
a brand new experience?
Yep, one of my favourite tracks.
Oh, right, okay.
I may have exerted a little bit of influence on Sam for him to pick it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, really looking forward to that. It's a track that I used to race at, and Simon will remember this as well. We used to race it back in the R Factor days.
Right.
It was a particularly high quality track that was available for that platform at the time, and we did a lot of laps around there back at the time. And then we didn't have it for 15 years until it turned up in iRacing. So
Yeah.
I remembered it like it was yesterday though when it came out. It was just fantastic track. Really like it. So yeah, bring it on.
No, it's interesting because you know mentally you retain all the information for the tracks, don't you? Very
it's like riding a
easily
bike.
as well. I do. I just don't choose to race the same line on the same track twice.
What direction is the 74th corner at the Nurburgring?
Yeah, not a clue because it looks just like the 73rd and the 58th and all the other corners.
The correct answer was depends if I'm in a tree.
Well, yes, yeah. Am I viewing it from upside down or the right way up? You know, who knows? But no, fantastic entertainment tonight, yet again. And we will see you next time out. Is there anybody you want to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Just the people I was around for both races. It was all very respectful, apart from Carl getting his bingo wings out.
Yeah.
And elbows, knees, toes, head, shoulders, everything. But yeah, it's all good, no damage or anything. And yeah, you guys putting it on as always, and yeah, just the rest of the field is all fantastic. Great race as always, as they all seem to be. So
They do at the minute. They're absolutely engaging. Thanks a lot for an entertaining night's racing, Jamie Wilson, everybody.
cheers, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie.
Right then, next in, we're gonna drag Gary Craig. Good evening, Gary.
Yeah, hi, I've been on hold for 40 minutes. I'm after customer support. I've got a redeemable voucher worth £10 for one murder of wobbly kneecaps.
Yes, and your call is important to us.
Oh, have I got another recorded message?
Yeah. Payment will be made. That was a proper takeout. With a car, there was contact made. That's £10 of English currency heading your way.
Excellent.
You can redeem it on the 30th at Croft Circuit.
Ooh, in hot pork sandwiches.
Just the one though, given the prices that they charge. But fifth in the first race. Let's talk about that one primarily. You seem to seem very comfortable on this track in that car. I mean, I know.
No.
What? No.
I hate this track.
No, I mean, not liking it doesn't mean you're not comfortable racing.
I was a second slower than the quick guys tonight because I did no practice. I did half an hour on Monday. I didn't even do the officials last night because I hate it so much.
Okay.
I sat on the sofa for half an hour as the practice was ticking by tonight because I didn't want to drive the track. Oh goodness!
Were you having a party political resistance to it or something?
I eventually dragged myself to the rig, threatened to kill everyone in turn one as a joke. Did it?
At least you lived up to your promises, you know.
God, I hate this track. It's like wobbly in Donington. Jesus Christ. It's just, I don't enjoy driving it at all.
Right.
So, yeah, I was even contemplating doing the mega fuel save to do a no-stopper in the second race, but unfortunately I had to stop for repair damage. Just to take the piss out. I was going to do say 0.3 of a litre a lap because I tested it and I could do it. And I probably would have finished about 6th in the second race if I had done.
Really? Right.
But
Okay.
that
Wow.
didn't happen. I would have been about 1.5 seconds slower than my best, maybe 1.3 slower, which would have been about 2 seconds slower than the quick guys.
Right.
So I lost 30 seconds in the pits in the second race, and it probably would have meant I would have been about 40 seconds slower overall. So I certainly finished a lot further than 10 seconds behind the leader. So I think would have been further up doing a no stopper.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But no explanations needed for what happened at the start of the second race.
Did you see him cut me up off the start and try to sandwich me into lead?
Yeah, we watched it at least 3 times.
Shocking behaviour. He then cut across me into turn 1 and took himself out with a pit manoeuvre.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go down well if he ever watches this watches this broadcast back. Let's move on to the next track. So Jerez. Do you already own it? Have you done any laps?
It's Sonoma Historic.
Yes, of course.
No, that's what it would have been if I had won last season.
Yeah, okay.
I think I own it. I've never driven it. I know that much.
Right. Okay.
And it's pronounced Jerez, actually.
Oh, is it really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That must be the colloquial English version.
Can't you read Jerez? It's obviously Jerez.
That's from all the expats that live out in Spain, I think, saying it that way. But no, it's good that new tracks are featuring in the TCR leagues. It's not unofficial, is it? I don't think.
No, it's Fuji next week. Unofficial.
Fuji, yeah.
Can you see me flashing the lights all on my own there?
Yeah,
we can. We don't know why. You'd have to be certifiable to do that in a race. But yeah,
for to do in it.
First race, very entertaining. Second race, earned yourself £10. A good night all round, really, wasn't it?
I mean, if that is what constitutes earning, that's the most I've ever won sim racing. So that's the best race ever.
yeah, the highest cash take back ever for Gary Craig. Anybody you'd like to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Wobbly, thanks for turning on me and ruining everyone's race, mate.
Yeah, he does that. And we will see you next time out. Gary Craig, everybody.
Cheers, guys. See you, Jerez.
Complete chaos. Right. I didn't have that was too dramatic. I'm going to have to find out who Peaky Blinders is. Oh, I'm in the wrong chat. Hang on. It's in here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. And it was on a tethered thread. Oh, it's Charlie. Right, okay. Right, let's go and find somebody to speak to. Charlie is... Well, I could do, because he's muted, so we're going to speak first to Fiona Siddons. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are we, Fee? You finished 19th in the first race tonight on the lead lap, which is always a bonus for anybody against this lot. Let me make sure that you're featured on the broadcast. There we go. And a little bit better in the second race, 18th. I think you were gifted the wobbly position in the second race, and Lee Bowden, he quit out after receiving a drive-through penalty. But you, again, finished on the lead lap. So I'd say that's a pretty good result against this lot, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a decent result. And if Gary's listening out there, he owes me that tenner, because with him taking Wobbly out, I got 2x somewhere.
Well,
that's the only 2x I had all night.
You're gonna have to pry that out of his fingers at some point. But you're more than welcome to join us at Croft in a fortnight's time. Yeah, tell us about your races, because you seem to be getting more and more confident, a lot faster in the car. Have you raced this track particularly very often before in the past?
I've raced it a couple of times, and I've never got on with it. It's one of my bogey circuits. I prefer the Green Hell to this.
Right, okay. You probably fall into the same category as Sir Alan then, because you like the Green Hell a bit more than this one, don't you, Alan?
Yeah, well, it's like a different universe, isn't it, Pete? You know, I love the Nurburgring. I really love it. This is a racing circuit. It's got no relationship to that place, which is fairly hallowed ground for me.
Okay. Sounds like Fee has the same opinion. Do you feel like you're learning more from racing with the rest of the community?
I think so. Yeah, I'd seem to be getting closer to the back end of them.
No.
Yeah, well, it's not easy, is it, Fee? You know, they set off a fearsome standards for anybody to try and reach up to. But the thing is, you're out there trying to reach up, aren't you? And bet you're driving, and you're in a good place to do it, lass.
Yeah, definitely. I'll let get an anchor and throw it out onto the back of one of them.
Yeah, drag you along down the road.
Yeah.
I think it'll start to come together. You're certainly doing a good job of choosing the right racing lines and defending positions, etc. I think you're doing really well. Have you even turned a lap yet at next time's track, Jerez?
I haven't even got it bought yet.
Ah, right, okay. That might be something you want to do in the next couple of days. It's a much more narrow track than this, and very much a bike track. But we've seen some great racing around bike tracks, and you did really well at Knockhill, so I don't think there'll be too much different in terms of performance around there. It's a very, very steep track, if I remember correctly, as in lots of elevation change. I think you'll go well there. The Elantra's working well for you, so it seems like a good car driver combination. Anybody you would like to thank before we let you go and buy the track and start practicing?
Well, I won't be buying the track till Monday because I'm going to Knockhill for TCR UK.
Ooh, right. Okay. Excellent.
Exciting.
Yeah, very. Okay.
As for shout outs, you guys, as always, everybody who's been racing tonight, and a big shout out to Michael Seal, who popped into our Discord and had a chat to us while we was racing.
Cool.
Yeah, we haven't seen Michael for a bit. It's nice to see him. He's been very busy. He has.
I did try to get him to enter, but
Right, okay.
Well, he has raced. He has raced in this league.
Yeah,
you know, and he performed well. It's just that when the racing season starts, he's here, there, and everywhere, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably see him more in the winters. But yeah, he was in the YouTube chat as well. So he's probably a reason that if he was distracting you, Fee, it's probably the reason that he didn't finish a couple of positions higher. Yeah, let's just blame Michael. Seems like a fair shout.
Not going to blame Michael. People can talk to me while I'm driving. It doesn't make any difference.
I actually think your level of driving has really been very good. I know you're a few tenths off the leaders, but your lines and your basic level of driving are really very good. Everybody feels safe around you. It's not like you're can't drive the car well, Fee, because you can.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, I can't agree with that more. As I was saying a bit earlier. But we will see you next time out on different tarmac at Jerez. Fiona Siddons, everybody.
Catch you later, everybody.
Good night.
Right then. And last into our interview booth, he's no longer on mute. He's available to talk to. Is Charlie, Charles Walsh. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. So,
cheers.
Where did you finish in the first race? You finished in 17th in the first race and 15th in the second race. A little bit of an improvement there. How are you finding racing with this lot in this league?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. But I've really only been racing for about a month. So
really?
Right. Well, you're doing pretty good then.
Yes.
And my first go in a front-wheel drive car was that first race that I entered. So
wow. Okay.
I don't think I'm doing too badly.
No, I know.
A lot to learn from these guys.
I'd hate to think how fast you're going to be once you've actually done some serious racing.
It's a heck of a place to start, isn't it, Pete?
Oh,
This is a heck of a place to dip your foot into, dip your toe into sim racing.
However,
You've really looked out. I think, and it's good and bad, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
clearly, it's a next to impossible, ridiculous pace that the guys set. But on the other hand, it's a great learning opportunity for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's some laps sort of mid race where the leaders came out after pitting, and I could follow them round for a little bit before they sped off into the future. But you get to see their lines and how they drive the car. Because AJ's my friend, Alejandro Advani, and so we practice when we can, and we see some of the lines that they take versus what we have started to take, and we go, bloody hell, that's something I wouldn't even thought of doing. So yeah, it's really eye-opening.
Yeah, I mean, another good car to race, and it races on a Friday, is the Clio Cup. It's slightly different, still front-wheel drive, not quite as powerful, and some of the same guys are in that league as this one. But there's some great guys in these leagues that you can learn from. If you turn up to Tuesday practice, if you can do, of course, you'll learn a lot. Well, sorry, Monday practice, Tuesday they run officials. It's a real education. They'll share setups with you, etc. You're in the Audi, so you've got a few fellow Audi drivers knocking about out there. Both of the Hydra Race Racing Forces guys and Stefan. He's been driving the Audi since he came out of the womb, I think. He won't drive anything that's not German, I don't think.
The first one he had was made of flint.
It was, yes, way back in the day, German flint. And yeah, there's a lot of experience in this league, and they want everybody to get up there with them because they enjoy the race, they enjoy the competitive nature of it. So you'll only get help from these guys, honestly.
Yeah, they seem to be a good community of guys. I mean, I in the practice, I think I did a 2:7 something. I thought I think I was mid table, and I thought, oh, I might actually be competitive today. And now qualifying let me down a bit, and then I think I got bashed 3 times in the main race, and so I mean, apart from, if I didn't have those bashes, I would have loved to have known where I actually would have come.
Yeah, and that TCRs is all about a bit of rubbings, racing, etc. You don't want the big heavy hits like Gary gave to Wobbly on the first lap of the second race, but a bit of very close racing is going to end up like that, right? Because that's what happens. Each driver perceives the racing track from their cockpits differently to one another, and then 2 cars come together. It's going to happen. What's different in these leagues is you could on a Monday night ask someone to go, watch from your driving perspective as you're driving and tell you when you're braking too early, when you're braking too late, when you're turning in too early, when you're turning in too late, when you're not on the gas soon enough, when you're not lifting 14% off the gas. All those little bits of education instantly make you so much faster. It surprised me. There's one on the chat at the minute. Chris Jackson's just tuned in almost as we're finished. Good evening to Chris. He is super fast in the V8. He's helped out so many people race in the V8s, and he's probably got front wheel drive experience to share with you as well if you wanted to learn from him as well. I would take advantage of it while you can, because it'll get you up there lots faster. It really will. It benefited me, even though I'm still rubbish, and I can still take out people with no warning in Clio as well as anything else. But that's why I broadcast. Do you know what I mean? It's safer for everybody if I sit here. But yeah, where do you feel that you can improve at this point? What do you think you need?
I think I brake too hard So
yeah.
tethering the brake, I kind of need to learn to feather the brake and then sort of bring the power on sort of slower. I'm very like quick to go full down.
Yeah. This sounds like classic
yeah.
things that I've still got, honestly, Charles. And yeah, the things that you can work on and improve, that's for sure. The other thing that, you know, that you want to think about is at 107, that's a damn good lap time.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're a slouch or anything. And it puts you, it's hard to get by on this track, and it puts you in, you're fast enough to be able to actually make it hard for people to get by you. You know, and it's a long drawn out thing people getting by you because you've got enough pace and involved in the racing.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
you know 107. You know, you're not a million miles away, are you? I mean, the fastest lap tonight was a 105.5, and that was an outstanding lap, really. So, you know, you can. I think you can be optimistic, my friend.
Yeah, too right. And you've got to also look at, you know, what it doesn't make the driver. Let's get that right first time. I used to race with a guy called Vitz Salomon, who was super rapid, and he was on a laptop, and you were like, "What are you doing? Well, how are you that fast on a laptop?" But some of these guys, they've spent serious money on kit, and you know, pedals make you. Hang on, let me get this right. Pedals make you safe, and wheels make you fast. One of those two things is true, or the other way around. So if you've only done like a few races already because you're in your first month of racing, you've probably got to get used to all the stuff to do with iRacing and the physics and the way it feeds through your wheel and your pedals. So, you know, work at it. Don't let it beat you down, because iRacing can do from time to time. Because you've definitely got the pace, like Alan said.
Yeah, I mean, it's great fun. You know, it's given me something to do on a Wednesday night. It's usually one of the days of the week that I don't really have anything to go do, and so this is a great sort of fun Wednesday evening activity. And you know, learning all this is obviously a bit of a chore, but it's a fun chore.
Yes.
So
it's skill. You know, Charles, you're trying. It's a genuine skill. It's not easy to do this. It requires skill, and that's what makes it endlessly fascinating for us, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, I like GT cars slightly better, and I might go. I think there's a GT series that are doing the same track at the moment, so I might go pop off and do one of those and see if I like the track better in a GT car. But I mean, you know, they are a bit funny, these front wheel drive cars, but it's definitely you know, I'm trying to learn as quickly as I can to try and get a bit more competitive every week. I think I've done that. I think
you're doing a great
I was
job.
right at the back. I think I was right at the back at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, I think you can be very happy, and I'm pretty sure. You know, the thing is, you're handling the track, you're driving safely, you've got your line's great. You know, your standard of driving is good. So finding a bit of pace is what everybody wants to do, and everybody's trying to do. But you know, you're starting from a good place, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody you'd like to shout out to before we let you go and start practicing for Jerez and celebrate your 15th place in the second race and your 17th in the first?
Yeah, just you guys for hosting. It's great fun. And I guess you know, AJ for putting in some good laps, even though he got a bit boshed around as well.
No, well said. And we will look forward to seeing you both at Jerez next time out. Charles Walsh, everybody.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Charles.
Right then. So we've got a difficult decision to make tonight because.
Well, we've got. It's tough, but there's plenty of candidates, isn't there? That's the thing.
There is. Obviously, Miguel got a double win. He'll be amply rewarded by the amount of points he gets.
Well, I don't know. A double win.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
It's hard to ignore.
It is. Stephen Walker had a great second race, not so good first race. Spencer, very consistent in third on both races. Freddie, he stood out from the crowd in the second race, that has to be said. Sam Blease had a good first race. by his standards, a bit slower. He tried to steal one of the cones underneath his car in the second race.
It was very exciting racing.
It was fantastic racing, yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Hardy's done very well. Jamie Wilson, wow, that was some significant door-to-door racing that we saw from him. Stefan's done good again, 2 8th places. I'm struggling tonight, to be honest. Most people had good races in one race and not quite so good in the other. That's also true of Freddie. But I think I'm going to have to go for Freddie van Eekhoven because his second race and 4th place is his best result so far. Yes, his first race wasn't quite so clever, but I think he's done so well. So my vote tonight is going to Freddie for his performance in the second race.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree more, to be honest. He was on my list equally with Jamie, Jamie Wilson, because they both turned in fantastic drives tonight, and I think actually Miguel does deserve it with a double win. But the trouble is with that, I just know he's going to win so many races.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I would have to give it him every week if I set a sort of idea that he's going to get one every time, because I just think he's got it in him to do it so often. So
yeah.
Although I think it's well worthy of it, I'm gonna give it to Jamie. I thought he was outstanding tonight, and he gave us some really entertaining racing.
Yeah, he certainly did. Well, I think those are really good votes from both of us, to be honest. It'd be remiss of me not to acknowledge Miguel and his stellar performance. Right then, we need to bring this one to a finish and let everybody get away to practice for Jerez, because that'll be the first priority for everybody. This Friday, the Clios return. It's a couple of weeks till we end up.
Where are we racing the Clios then?
We are racing at Snetterton 300 this time.
Oh my God! I was there last night, suffering around there in my Mazda.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
You got a bit more suffering towards the end of the week. I don't know whether I'm racing it or not yet. So people may be safe, or they may be at risk of getting absolutely battered off the track by me. So tune in for that. V8's return on the 29th of this month. We've had the first race weekend. It was an absolute blast. It was so good. And they will return to Barcelona's historic format, so none of the silly chicane at the end. It's the standard format, and that will be just as competitive. And as I've mentioned so many times tonight, Jerez for this series next Wednesday at the same time. Thanks to everybody that's watched. We had a brilliant number of viewers at one point, or at several points actually. Thanks to all the racers that turned up. Thanks again to Alan, special call out for joining me in the booth again, because it's always brilliant having you in here. I'll say good night now to everybody, and let Alan say good night.
Good night, my friends. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and with Pete, and it's a lot of fun, and another great night's racing. See you next week.